All right. It looks like we are live. What is going on, BriHive? Welcome back to yet another BriHive live stream. And today we are going to be getting into Clayton versus Laura Owens. She's not Lauren today, she's Laura Owens. They went ahead and had their trial, their very short trial. And as you can imagine, I have a lot to say about it. Unfortunately, we don't have a decision of what happened. The judge basically took the trial under submission. And it might not surprise you when I'm saying very short trial that everyone didn't get to testify. And also, everyone's testimony went really fast, except for Laura's. We got a lot of time with Laura, maybe like a good hour and a half worth of Laura, and then everything else was squeezed into, I guess it was a little bit less than an hour and a half. Everything else was just squeezed into the rest of the 45 minutes remaining. So you can imagine that it was not that great, or to me it was not that great of a trial. Don't have a clue why the heck they picked 2 hours. And if someone knows why it was 2 hours, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm checking the chat. Okay, got that. Thank you, Kimmy. I'll pull it up in just a minute. Okay, and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all over the place because we're trying to play the video on something else, and then now we're doing YouTube. So we're gonna get ourselves together. But anyways, I didn't want to ask if anyone in the chat, and if you watch this trial already, whether you watched it live or on the replay, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat so I know how many of you have actually watched the video, or not the video, but the trial. And let me know your thoughts in the chat. I think Kimmy is going to be helping me star chat so that we can talk about the relevant things. If you are new to the BriHive, you know that sometimes we get a little bit sidetracked. So sometimes there's some different conversations going on in the chat. So Kimmy tries to star the chats that are most relevant to what we are talking about on the live stream. So go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you watch this already. We are going to be rewatching Laura's cross-examination, and then we're going to be watching Clayton's direct, because that's all there was, because the attorneys ran out of time. And I don't know if you guys can tell that I'm super annoyed that the attorneys ran out of time. They did not put on a full trial, and I'm very upset with that. I don't know why I keep repeating words, but here we are. I don't know. Maybe it's just this it's just this it's just the circumstances that we are in. Okay, so while we're here in the beginning, let me go ahead and see where we are with the likes. We are at 35 likes with 80 people watching live. So if you have not hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm, and it helps us get more friends to the channel. And by the way, welcome to all the new BriHive subscribers. We gained like 150 subscribers over the last since Thursday, our last live stream. So welcome to all the new subscribers. And again, if you have not subscribed yet, please do. It does help out the channel, and we are trying to grow the channel. Okay, so since the likes are already at 39, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stretch it. I'm going to make the like goal way higher than I've ever made it before. And when I say the like goal, I'm talking about the like goal during the live stream. And we are at 43 likes. So let's go ahead. We're gonna stretch it. We're gonna make the like goal during the stream 150 likes. So again, if you guys have not hit the like button and you want to hit the like goal for the stream, go ahead and hit that like button, y'all. Okay. So now that we've done that, I am just going to say hello to a few people in the chat because we got a lot of friends here today. This case is really interesting, so we do have a lot of friends. So if I miss anybody, I'm very sorry. But let's go ahead and transition over into saying hi to the BriHive. So where is Bossy B? All right, we got Chelsea B dropping in first, saying looking forward to this one. Thank you and welcome in. I'm super excited to talk to everyone. We got Miss Frosty, a member of the channel, saying hi all. Hope everyone had a good day. Of course, y'all, it's Tuesday. And we're not streaming on Thursday this week because I will be in my own trial. That's not 2 hours long, okay? We're going to get into my animosity towards the 2-hour trial. We are going to get into my animosity over that. But yes, I have my own trial that is actually 2 days long, and it probably only needs to be 1 day, but we put extra time. So just in case some people are yappy, like some people, i.e. the first witness on the stand was, we would have enough time to get through things. So no live stream on Thursday. We are live streaming today to talk about the nonsense that went on in court. yesterday. Okay, we got Sheezy, another member of the channel. Welcome in, saying hello from, oh, sorry, my computer's doing weird thing. Rich 108 degrees. Gosh darn. I don't know how hot it is here, but it is pretty hot. Thank goodness for Bree to distract me. Well, I hope it is some good distraction, and hopefully you have some good air conditioner because that's crazy, crazy hot. Crystal Harris, welcome in, another member of the channel, saying live in the hive. Welcome back to another live stream. Nice to see you tonight. We got Melissa Marquez saying hello all. I just came here to see Bree discuss the lies and deceit. Oh, and the reason why we're not covering the direct examination of Laura, because it was pure coddling. It was pure coddling, very, very rehearsed in my opinion. And to me, she came off as very aggressive on cross, like ideal hostile witness. She was definitely that on cross. So that's why we're watching that. But we're not watching the direct because it was boring. Okay, let's call it what it is. It was very, very boring, very, very rehearsed. Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. My apologies. Ma'am, you knew. You guys rehearsed this whole thing, in my opinion, y'all, in my opinion. Okay, I don't know if they really rehearsed it, but again, it didn't come off as genuine to me on the direct, so we're not watching that. We got Vince P 1974 saying, hi from Chicago. I saw your prior live on this and had to come for the follow-up video. Well, welcome in. It's nice to have you in here tonight. And let me actually jump over to my star chat. Vince says, Laura filibustered her own case, LOL, and lied. It's a mess. I'm just gonna say what it is. It is a mess. Vince also says it's family court. They have short docket allocations. And again, I don't practice in Arizona, but we do have options, okay? If we're talking about California court, I know, guys, it's not California court, but California is where I practice. When we do trials, family law trials, whether they're for paternity, whether they're for divorce, whether they're for child support, you have options. You can do an evidentiary hearing like this, where it's 2 hours long, or you can set the matter for trial. When you're setting the matter for trial, you're probably going to get a court date that's way, way further down the line. I know Clayton at some point asked for more time, and I didn't really review the documents of what the original time was, but what was the original time on the docket? An hour? I feel like evidentiary of 2 hours is very short. This should have been set to trial if they have any additional trials available. But for me, I don't know. This is Arizona. They practice different, but it's odd to me that they don't have any longer trials. So it makes sense. And I'm very, very familiar with evidentiary hearings, but in our court, we do have the option for longer trials. M169 says the judge set the time limit. I don't know. I'm going to get to it. I don't know how she thought 2 hours will be enough when we're talking about 8 witnesses, right? It was Clayton. He had 2 witnesses plus a doctor. And then we had Laura, who had 1 witness plus her mom who didn't testify. So at least 7 witnesses. And you're telling me you can get it done in what do you call it? 2 hours? I don't think that was proper time allocation. And again, this is Arizona, so maybe everything is different. But we tell our judges, we think that it's going to take this long because we have this many witnesses. If you have more than 2 witnesses in the trials that we do, which is in family court, y'all, they're like, yeah, a day is not going to be long enough. Okay. Maybe if you go 3 to 4 witnesses, you're automatically rolling over into a 2-day trial. So it's just odd to me. And of course, different courts have different rules. So I can't really be too judgy there, right? Jesse Lubu, I hope I said that right. Their other hearings were way shorter. I don't know why they do that, which makes sense. Those other hearings, which I see some of them popping up, and I was reviewing a few of the hearings, those ones make more sense because you're only arguing like one particular thing. This is the trial on the whole action. Like, you could not possibly tell me that it's only 2 hours. No, I'm not a fan of the 2-hour evidentiary hearing. Just Jen says, I think it was originally 45. No, 45 minutes. Laura took 40 minutes just on her direct. Oh my God. Well, it probably wasn't just on her direct. It was like opening statements and Laura's little arguments objecting to particular witnesses who didn't even get to testify because guess what? You guys only set aside 2 hours. Not a good move. And if it's the court's fault, I'm not happy with the court on setting a 2-hour trial. Jesse Lubu says it was initially 45 minutes. Oh, I just heard that one. Mispronounced name. I love that. Saying who was a more believable witness, Laura or Jen McCabe? I don't know who Jen McCabe is. Cindy Brown says, I saw the whole thing, so many lies from Laura. It was bad. It was bad, and we're going to get into it. Just Jen says, 111, I've watched it 3 times. And it just doesn't get any better, right? It does not get any better. Jesse LeBou says, a lot of us watched it live. I started watching it live, and then I was working, so then it got paused. So Cloud, Sylvan Shine, I like that. One and then rewatch on Cross because LOL. Yeah. The Cross is good. And I'll just warn you guys right now, a part of the Cross, you cannot hear it very well. So please bear with us as we work through that. You can hear Laura's answers pretty well, but some of the questions you can't hear that well. So there is that. Trisha saying, me too. Been there since the beginning. I love to see new attorneys' reactions. Y'all, it's bad. It's a bad case. Destined to be, also known as Tanya D, member and moderator of the channel. Welcome back, saying good evening, everyone. Almost 40 likes already. Nice job. Yes, we are killing it today. We got a lot of people in the chat, so welcome in. Like I said, new subscriber, OG subscribers, welcome. Chicago Girl says, I've been following this case because of Dave Neal. I've watched it a few times. What do you guys think about it? Just let me know what you think about it, okay? Trisha, Donna Fleo, I know I just messed that up. I'm so sorry, saying we love you. I love you too. Welcome into the live stream. Wink says, just sub. Thank you very much. We definitely appreciate it. AZ Techie says, my guess is it was so short because it was family court, and well, there ain't a family. That's a good one. That is a good point. There's no family here. Oh my gosh, there's no family here. Hayadi says we finally hit 13K. Yes, we did. Let's give a round of applause for hitting 13K. Thank you for the reminder there. Sorry, my soundboard is doing weird things. Okay, there we go. Yes. Shout out to the BriHive and all the new subscribers. Melissa Marquez says likes are free and don't cost a thing. Yes, they are. Thank you for that reminder. Cindy Brown says not giving accurate info for ultrasound. Y'all, you just reminded me. She was like, I didn't doctor any ultrasound. She was like, what about this? She's like, oh yeah, I doctored that one, but just that one. It's like, what are you talking about? You did doctor them. You can't say I didn't do it. And then you're like, oh yeah, well, actually I did do that one. That one's not that bad. And she was like, I changed it to like 100 and something thousand. Oh no, I only sent that one to Dave Neal. He's a content creator. I didn't send it to the court. I just lied to the media, not the court. Even though you did not submit that to the court, Laura, just in case your attorney didn't tell you this, it's still a prior inconsistent statement. It's still prior inconsistencies, right? Whether you sent it to the court or not, it's on record. It's a whole nother thing. Okay. Cindy Brown says, not giving accurate, I already read that one. Oh no, I didn't read the whole thing. Not giving accurate info for ultrasound. Now it was done July 2nd in LA and was, oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. It was done anonymous and she gave a false name. That's 3 lies just right there. And it's not fair per Laura Owen. She's like, that's not fair. That's not fair. You guys had accurate. We're not talking about fairness. She's basically trying to direct the trial. Look, I'm already crying, y'all, because this is out of control. She straight up said it was in, what was it? Mission Viejo, which is that LA? I don't think that's LA quite. I think it's that San Bernardino County. And then she was like, well, actually, it was in LA and I did it under a fake name because I wanted my privacy. But even if you did it under a fake name, which I think the other attorney, I don't remember her name, the lady attorney made a point of, okay, if you knew that we were looking for these records, why didn't you give us the false name? I get discovery if they don't specifically ask under the false names or anything like that. I can see why we would not give it to you. However, If you're trying to prove your case, why would you not give them that information? And why would it be coming up for the first time on trial? Y'all, I'm getting too into this. We have a lot of video to watch, so I need to just be quiet, get through these chats, and start the freaking live stream. Cindy Brown says, usually they only give 45 minutes per side, and they got an extra 15 minutes each. Okay, so 45 minutes per side, not just the 45 minutes in general. That makes sense. That's horrible. That's a horrible system. Just Me MD says, hi everyone, buzzing in and sending love. Have a migraine, gonna hang in there as long as I can. Been looking forward to this one as usual. Welcome in, Just Me MD, another member of the channel. Nice to see you. Hope your migraine gets better soon. Chicago Girl says, first time here. Well, welcome in. Scorpion says, thanks for covering this. It was wild. It's insane. Crazy, crazy. Tanya D saying, welcome to all the new friends. Giving a BriHive drop. Thank you, Tanya D. Vince P 1974 says, it's probably for the best. It was short and sweet. They could have took a week if they had their way. And honestly, I would have been okay with like a day or two. I would have been okay with a day or two, because at least you would have got a little bit more substantive testimony from everybody versus an hour and a half of Laura and 30 minutes of everybody else. That's what I felt like, but I know some of the opening statement took up some time too. But okay, let's give Laura an hour, and then everyone else was like an hour together. Kaboyo B says, I hope I said that right. Also, all docs, transcripts, evidence, and prior hearings are also to be considered by the judge. They can consider that stuff. Wink says, yeah, to think the entire case was supposed to be about 45 minutes. 2 hours was never going to be enough time. This hearing could have been 2 weeks. It could have. It was a lot of information to be presented, but I do think that the attorneys did a good job in trying to make it smaller, consolidate it for the 2 hours. However, I do think they took too long on Lion Laura, okay? They took too long on Lion Laura, okay? M169 says, I watch for her attorney giving her hand signals. Oh, and this lady lawyer standing in front of him saying, it looks like you're looking for direction from your attorney. Like, come on now. And you do not want to be called out like that in court. Gemma, I know I'm going to say this wrong. Gemma Gidda says, it actually looked like it was over rehearsed, especially the difference between that and Cross. Total demeanor and personality change, in my opinion. And usually you do get a personality change when you are the hostile witness. She's going to be hostile. Lady attorney, I can't remember her name right now, so sorry, y'all. Came in swinging and talk about, you know the difference between telling the truth? Yeah, right? No, she doesn't. Kimmy Locker says they should have rehearsed how to stay calm on Cross. Her attorney waved his arms to signal she should calm down so much he could have landed a plane. Now, I did not see the hand signal, y'all. I know someone asked that just a second ago. I did not see the hand signals because when I was watching the first time, I was working, and then the second time I was folding laundry. So I didn't actually watch the video. I just listened to it, which I tend to do. Vince P 1974 says the judge was probably like, I'm only going to be able to sit through 2 hours before I lose my shit. She lost it. She didn't lose it, but she was like, okay, you're pushing it. I'm going to remind you guys again. Counsel asked a question. Laura, you answer a question. The judge did not have to say that for any other witness, just the Laura. Okay. So how do you think that makes you look? It's not going to be good. You can't direct a trial, Laura. You're not the attorney. Deacon Fatal says 2 hours when a doctor is there. And the doctors each only testify for like 15 minutes. Welcome in, Deacon Fatal, member and moderator of the channel. Welcome back. We got Scorpion saying, I thought it was the practice of that court. The order of protection, one was like 30 minutes. The judge was super strict on the time there too. And like I said, each court has different rules. Even in my practice here, we practice in 2 different courts, and they allow different things in their court as far as like time goes and what needs to be set for trial and what needs to be set for an evidentiary hearing, when those are set, what days those are set. So it can vary by court, even within the same state. So I definitely understand them having their rules. I still don't like it. And honestly, to establish whether someone is a parent, it should not be this complicated. It shouldn't. It's a DNA test. Are you the pappy? No? Okay, get out of here. So I definitely understand why the court was like, okay, 2 hours. But when you throw in all the media stuff and you tricked all these other people and then you were riding horses, which nobody talked about that. No one talked about that. Why didn't we not talk about the horse riding thing? So I definitely understand trying to limit it because it's like DNA test or not, right? Maybe you have like 3-4 dads to test and all of them need to testify. But when it's just one other person, I see why it should only take 2 hours. But when you throw in all the nonsense of this case, they needed a week. Okay. Let me see. Kathy Walker says any woman who's lost a pregnancy would never act like she does. Yeah. We'll get into it a little bit more. Deacon Fatal says, okay, thinking you can have a doctor's testimony within 2 hours is insane to me. They did both of them each about 15 minutes. Mispronounced Name says, Jen McCabe was a pretty terrible witness from the Karen Reed. Okay, I have not been watching Karen Reed, so that explains a lot. Ohio Palm Mom became a new member. Welcome back to the membership. Nice to have you here tonight. Welcome to the membership. Sean Post says it was scheduled at 2 hours. The upside, Judge Matta is not stupid. Add in all the Mike and Greg stories being told via motions pre-trial. Pons compose it. I don't know if I'm reading all those words right. Hashtag JFC, get some justice. Okay. Cindy Brown says, FYI, Justice for Clayton has changed his name to Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens. Make it longer, right? Mary H says, I woke up early to not miss that trial. I was waiting like at work. I'm like, dang, why is it not starting? Nicholas Hall says, internet free speech lawyer calling 911 on witness Mike. I don't remember how to say his last name, but Mike M before trial is not cool. Yes, he did, which is ridiculous, right? He's not supposed to be here. Did the court make an order that he couldn't be there? If he violated a restraining order, the bailiff will take him out. No, most restraining orders, and they said there is no exception for court proceedings. But if this is a California restraining order, there's probably an exception for court proceedings because those are pretty much automatic in California. So Mr. Arizona lawyer maybe needs to talk to a California lawyer to talk about whether there are exceptions for the actual proceedings. So just saying, those are pretty much automatic in California. Maybe he needs to reread the restraining order. Betsy says, congratulations on 13,000. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Els SB says, thanks for covering this. No problem. It's a very interesting case. Claude Silva Shine says, just some light perjury, just a little bit. Trista Donna Fleo says, the July 2nd was a Sunday and Planned Parenthood is open on Sunday in Arizona. I didn't even notice that. Wow. Good point out there. Good point out. I did not notice that. Kiki says she also sent the altered report to Clayton. So lie. Yeah. I will tell y'all the little pregnancy videos of her poking out her stomach. I really want to know how she got her stomach to do that. But also, if I'm bloated enough, I can make myself look pregnant as well. Now, I'm not 100 or I'm not 90 pounds, okay? So maybe it's a little different on smaller people. But also, that still didn't really look like a twin 6-month pregnant belly to me. But hey, who am I to judge? I don't know. But it did seem like her abs were poking out. To me, it looked like she was poking her stomach out because I can do it. I can make my tummy look like a balloon too. So I don't know if I believe those videos. Let me know what y'all think about that. Trisha says Deandra was a boss. Okay, that's the other attorney's name. Cindy Brown says she was supposed to disclose info on the ultrasound in Discovery. Yeah, but she went in a whole different county. Deacon Fiddle says, wait, so they don't know who baby that is? There is no baby. That's the issue. There is no baby. Sean Bo says Deandra and Woodnick are GOAT category. Oh, and Laura's attorney apparently made a blog already talking mess about them. I'm like, where is the professional courtesy, man? Rengery says, I'm ready for your opinion. Thank you. No problem. Trisha Donna Fleo says the judge watched the hearing with Judge Duty where Laura admitted sending Clayton the dang sonogram. And her attorney denied. Her attorney denied a lot. Cindy Brown says that's another thing for sanctions, communication with the lawyer during cross. Oh, yep. And really contempt. Take her. That the judge said that we're going to get into territory you don't want to get in. Contempt. Get out of here. You're going to jail. You're paying a fine. Kimmy Walker says, I would suggest turning his hand signals into a drinking game, but it'd be pretty reckless. drink. Sean Poe says, again, Mata is no slouch. Her questions to experts, witnesses surely told you where she was leaning. She has all the evidence and what has been uncovered. Exactly. The judge knows what she's going to ignore. Even if she's up there lying, the judge can ignore certain things. They can determine whether they believe the person to be credible. We might get a ruling saying, I don't believe Laura to be credible. I think she faked the pregnancy. She can literally come up with whatever she wants. Okay. Let's see. Cindy Brown says her name is Deandra. She questioned Lauren Owens during another hearing. Laura is scared of her. She was ready to fight her, in my opinion. Okay. Arizona or AZ Techie says Laura was also the only witness to get a dedicated cry break. Oh, don't get me started on those. Those are the worst. Those are the worst. They're even worse when you're the one doing the examination. And Deandra was like, well, we don't have enough time. She's like, well, we gave it 10 minutes. They really gave that girl 10 minutes to cry. They're making faces. They're making faces in the crowd. Stop looking at the crowd. Okay? All right. Trisha says, I hope Judge Mata sees she has PCOS and then Google that. Women with PCOS can have elevated HCG levels or be given hormones to help the symptoms. No one really brought that up in the trial as far as the doctors or anyone, any of the testimony goes. Cindy Brown says, well, 3 tests came back little to or no fetal DNA, and they're claiming that's because she probably already had a miscarriage, which those do track different things. You're tracking the fetal DNA, and then you're tracking HCG levels, which is not necessarily fetal DNA. So there is that. Kayla Eloisa, welcome back. Another member of the channel says, are you the pappy? Yeah. Are you the pappy? Are you not the pappy? Okay. Scorpion says, I don't like it either. I've had my own experience with courts getting pissy with time, but sometimes there's that much that needs to be presented. Not every case is normal, right? And this one isn't. Exactly. And the thing about it is doing it on the shortened time, and maybe they have different rules in Arizona. If this happened in my counties and in California court, it would be a mistrial, and then they would have to come back and do it all over again. Okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. Sorry, I was reading a chat from Kimmy. AZ Techie says that twirl was cringe. As Cindy Brown says, Judge Mata got Lauren Owens down. She knows what's what. Agreed. Dragon says there has been so much misogyny in this case, and ironically has all come from Laura Owens' expert witness and the lawyers. Oh, that expert was horrible. Okay. Star says, I loved how Laura's expert doctor said Rav Jen was an excellent paternity testing. Trisha Donafilo says, I think I said that wrong. Fleo says, we need to change these laws. No parenting plan shall be imposed unless paternity is established. Exactly. My thing is, why are you trying to establish a parenting plan when you're 3 days pregnant? Okay. She was like 2 months pregnant, but 2 months pregnant, right? Why are you trying to establish a parenting plan? What is he going to do? Take the fetus out of your belly and take it to the doctor? Like, what was her goal here? And like I said on the last stream, I've seen cases where the paternity action is started during the pregnancy to like prevent mom from moving or whatever. But it's usually the dad that opens the case because the mom won't let them be a part of it. I've not seen, and mind you, I'm a young lawyer, I've not seen where someone opened a paternity case and said, force the baby daddy to be a baby daddy. I've never seen it. And I don't think I ever will. Scorpion says, does a California restraining order even have effect in Arizona? It can. You can register it. And most states will honor different restraining orders, but technically you are supposed to register it in the state that you move to. CB says, some California PPs are open on Sundays. Planned Parenthoods are open on Sundays, but not all. Not the ones in LA, which apparently she went to the LA one now, not San Bernardino anymore. Cindy Brown says, bailiff told IL. I don't know. IL. Illinois. I'm going Illinois. I don't think that's what it means. He was subpoenaed. He can be there. MM, right? Mike, that he was subpoenaed and he can be there. And they also had SWAT teams there, bomb dogs. Come on. Not particularly for this case, right? It's a restraining order. He probably like pushed her or something. And Tuttle says, have never been here before and I love it. Well, welcome in. Nice to have you here. We got Melissa Marquez saying it's called full of poo. Absolutely. I can't imagine anything else in this case at this point. Cindy Brown says she is gluten-free. Just eat a loaf of bread. She'll have that tummy. Makes sense. Okay. Kelly H says, as someone with endometriosis, on the right day, I can look 5+ months. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You can push your stomach out. It's ridiculous how much air is in there. I don't know if it's air, but you can push your stomach out. Kaylee Loisa says, look, give me some tacos and I look like I have twins, PCOS, and Hashimoto's. I think that's what that says. Sean Poe says, tonsil twin. That was a good one. That was a good. Sammy Grace Farm says, gluten. She doesn't eat gluten normally, so the stomach is probably breadsticks. Y'all got all the information. Kimmy, we're gonna have to slow down on the chat so I can actually jump into the content of the live stream. Star says her mother has said she can't have gluten, so that could cause bloating. Makes sense. Trisha, why can I not say Trisha today? Says, well, Gringus called 911 when there were police already there. Not only that, while he was on the phone, he walked up to Mike and was describing his clothing to the police. He's a piece of work. Now, that's like a TikTok video of like when they're trying to play a joke, talk about, oh yeah, they're right here. They're wearing a blue shirt and this and blah, blah, blah. That's ridiculous. What a male Karen. What do they call them? Kevin's? And Tuttle says, Gringus is full of smoke, all talk, but in reality, he tries intimidating people, threatening Dave Neal to sue him and make him homeless for covering it and saying she was not pregnant. You can talk about whatever you want on the internet. It's called commentary. M169 says her goal was to get Clayton into a relationship. It did not work. And I mean, this name, Stir Crazy, okay? Why would you want to be in a relationship with that? Internet lawyer is doofus. Okay. Chelsea B says, I lost a twin pregnancy and her claiming she needed no intervention at 6 months and didn't notice is absolutely absurd. But she's also claiming it happened in July, which would have been before she ever filed the lawsuit. And I'm sorry to hear that. I just think she said so many things and maybe researched some things, but didn't really look into how these things work, right? IB0093 says, get ready for a crazy ride when reading the case and the 10 years of fraud with multiple victims. Insane, absolutely insane. Cindy Brown says she took him to court because he blocked her, refused the dating contract, which the offer for her to, there was like some letter that was sent. I think it was the offer to settle. Or was it the offer to, or was it it was the suing letter. We're going to sue you for 1.4 and her attorney objected, talk about, oh, that's the settlement negotiation. Drop your lawsuit or I'm going to sue you for $1.4 million is negotiations? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's a good negotiation strategy. We got Julianne Morel saying when Judge Mara gives a decision, will she give the reason? Most likely. I would just say yes, they normally do. But also, I'm not an Arizona attorney in paternity court. And I also didn't like that they had 2 hours. But most likely she will give the reasoning. Most likely she will indicate whether she believes that Laura was credible. Most likely she will address some of Laura's behavior on the stand. Clayton wasn't really on the stand that long to have any behavioral issues. And Laura's attorney ran out of time to question Clayton, so he couldn't really be a hostile witness in this case, which was, I guess, good for the prosecution. And Kimmy says, don't forget to hit like, everybody. Yes, of course. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. It does help us out in the algorithm and it helps us get more friends in the BriHive Live, which we love. We did go ahead and set a like goal for 150 likes for the live stream. But y'all, we have 224 people watching live, which is insane. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Deacon Fatal is here, so I can't do the air horns. I can't do my air horns, but shout out to y'all. If y'all haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm. And we are at 137 likes. So we are just 13, or now we're at 138. We're just 12 likes away from our like goal. And I feel like I should make it a little higher now that we are at 232 people live. I was not expecting this. So welcome to everyone watching in the live stream. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and swoop. Let's swoop and get into the nonsense that we call Laura's testimony, her cross-examination testimony. But before we do that, actually, let me go ahead and show y'all that haven't seen the belly bump video, because I had not seen it before today. So let me get my screen sharing together. We are going to share this one. Share it. There we go. Is it big enough? Can I make it bigger? Yes. There we go. So this is Laura up in the upper left corner. We got Clayton over here on the right. I think this is Laura's attorney on the left. That's Laura's attorney. Looks like a young guy. And then we got the judge and down at the bottom. So let's go ahead and check out the belly or the baby bump video here. I don't think it really has sound. So, oh, it does have sound. Did y'all see her adjust the belly? Oh, I forgot to swoop. I know that's what Kimmy's probably telling me in the back. Oh, you guys are saying you can't hear it. Oh, yeah, this one you're not going to be able to hear it, actually. So thank you for that, Kimmy. We're not going to be able to hear this one. I forgot to bossy B swoop, but that's okay. Let's finish watching it. If y'all just saw her move the camera down to her belly, and I believe, was this the same hearing where she stood up and asked the judge, can I show him my stomach because he doesn't think I'm pregnant? Because I've only seen a clip of that. I couldn't tell if it was the same day as this one. So let me go on and continue the show. It's ridiculous. And my thing is, what is her purpose of standing up at this point? Okay, that's pretty much it on this one. She literally stood up to show her belly. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like it's the same video. And I'm surprised the judge didn't tell that lady to sit down. Like, sit down, woman. No one needs to see your pregnancy belly, okay? Send him a picture and email. It seems like you email him enough. So there's that. So let me go ahead and jump into, let me get out of this giant screen over here, first of all. Boom. Let me get out of there. Okay. Go away, Laura's belly bump. And then I wanted to pull up the link that Kimmy sent me. Shh, be quiet. Okay. Then we got that one. And then we are going to stop sharing my screen. And then we are going to technical things while live. Always fun. Okay, so share screen. We are going to jump right into Laura's testimony, which I believe, or not her testimony, but her cross-examination, which was at, I believe, around 44 minutes. So we're gonna listen to a little bit of her attorney's testimony, and then we'll go ahead and jump into this is a live stream. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the cross-examination with, what is her name? What is her name? Deandra. So let's go ahead and shout out to Lauren. I hope I'm saying your name right. Nady. I don't hope I'm saying that right, but get in the live stream. Amazing work. Amazing work. So shout out to you for that. Let's make this bigger. We are going to go ahead and swoop with Bossy the Bee. And check out what Laura has to say. And y'all, let me know if it's echoey because I've been having a little bit of sound problems going on, but we're gonna try to get it going on. So here we go.
All right, Laura, let's look at Exhibit A6. Can you tell us what Exhibit A6 is?
Yes, that's me showing my pregnant stomach.
And when did you create that video? Do you know?
September the 19th.
Okay. Let me see here. Your Honor, I'll move to admit A6.
No objection, Your Honor. A6 is received.
And let's look at A7. It's a similar video. Did you take this video yourself, or look at it? You're obviously not holding the camera, but you put it on.
Yeah, I put it on the stand. Yeah.
You took this video.
So this is the pregnant video, the pregnant belly video, but I saw a different one that I also have pulled up on YouTube that I'm going to show. It's like linked to her riding a horse and showing her belly, but we can't really see her face in that one. But it's strange. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. So let me just go ahead and play this. And y'all, I do have it on 1.5 speed. So let me know if it's too fast for you. I just don't want to be here all night listening to lying Laura in my opinion, and that's my opinion that she's a liar. Okay, so let's go.
Yeah, do you remember the date of this?
October the 9th.
I don't know if it even showed anything there, but it's real short. Okay. Laura, between May 20th and November 14th, we've established November 14th, you were no longer pregnant. Did you experience any pregnancy symptoms?
Yes.
Can you explain what those symptoms were?
Yeah, I had very bad morning sickness and nausea, and my breasts were very tender.
Do you remember how much you weighed when you went to see Mom Doc?
I believe it was 121. Or, I'm sorry, no, not Mom Doc. I thought you were meaning in May. I was 133 at Mom Doc. I'm sorry about that.
So around the time that this was taken, your weight was 133. What do you weigh today?
91 pounds.
Will you stand up and show the court and everyone what you look like now compared to the picture behind you? Can you come out from behind the screen there? And just do a little turn for us. Laura, that's enough, thanks. For the last time, were you pregnant with Clayton?
Yes.
Did you think that you were pregnant with Clayton?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to think that you weren't when you filed this case?
No.
Did you lie about being pregnant with Clayton?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Counsel, you've used 29 minutes and 30 seconds. When you're ready. And Your Honor, is it okay if I proceed from the podium? Will the court be able to hear me? Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine.
It said turn around. That's enough.
Microphone on the podium, correct?
Okay. All right. When you're ready.
Good morning, Ms. Owens.
Good morning.
You understand that you're currently under oath and must testify truthfully today, correct?
Correct.
Okay, y'all. I just wanted to pause it real quick. The turnaround, my thing, it's insane. I know she's claiming that she was pregnant, so that's why she was 130 something pounds. But then to drop to like 90 pounds, how tall is she? That's very, very, very small. So very interesting. I'll give her that. Losing that much weight, kudos to her. But is she normally that small, or was that for the purpose of this lawsuit? I would like to know. Is she always that small? If anyone knows, I don't know.
You understand the difference between the truth and a lie, right?
Obviously, yes.
And you would agree with me that fabricating or doctoring evidence is dishonest and unreasonable behavior, right?
Right.
And you're aware that lying under oath is a crime in the state of Arizona, correct?
Correct.
And the reason I'm asking you these questions, Ms. Owens, is because I've cross-examined you before, right?
Right.
I cross-examined you in the injunction against harassment during the court on November 2nd of 2023, right?
Right.
And during that hearing, you'd recall that I gave you the opportunity to correct the record and come clean about any false information or testimony you may have provided, right?
Right.
And you told me you had nothing to correct, right?
Correct.
And then you proceeded to lie to the court.
Objection, argumentative, Your Honor.
Sustained. You testified that you were 100% pregnant on November 2nd, correct?
Correct.
And you testified that you were 24 weeks pregnant specifically.
I'm gonna pause it because I did also notice the court, no hate to the judge, she was a little bit inconsistent on some of her rulings because she called that one argumentative. Well, I guess because it was her attorney asking the question, but when Clayton's attorney objected to saying that Clayton lied, the court overruled that one. But again, I guess it's not argumentative, so I don't know what basis. Or I would feel like legal. I mean, I guess lying is not a legal conclusion, but either way it goes, I didn't like that I don't know what basis I have, but I definitely didn't like that the judge let the plaintiff or the petitioner call Clayton a liar, but they did not allow Deandra to call, what's her name, Laura, a liar. I'll be quiet.
I'd like you to take a look at your exhibit A11, please.
She's got them in front. I can see. Yeah.
Ms. Owens, this appointment that you attended at Mom Doc on November 14th of 2023 was 12 days after I cross-examined you, right?
Correct.
And during that cross-examination, I pointed out that you had no legitimate medical records to support the pregnancy, right?
I mean, you said that, but I don't agree with it. No.
At this appointment, Ms. Owens, it was confirmed that you were not pregnant, correct?
Correct.
These Mom Doc records also indicate that you were diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, right?
I've had that since I was 17. Yes.
Okay. And you'll recall at the hearing on November 2nd, I specifically questioned you about any physical health diagnosis that you had, right?
I don't remember, but if you say so, then yes.
Not if you say so.
Testify that you had PCOS, right?
I can't say one way or the other. If I did it, and I'll take your word for it. But it's not something that I live with daily.
You also failed to tell me that in 2016, Doctors Chan and Yee diagnosed you with cancer and apparently removed one of your ovaries.
They did not.
Okay. So as you sit here today, you're denying that.
I will absolutely deny that happened.
So now she's denying the cancer.
Now, per what you reported, what you self-reported to the Mom Doc, they listed a spontaneous abortion date of August 12th of 2023 at 8 weeks pregnant, correct?
They listed a lot of things that were inaccurate here. I never told them that I had an abortion that date.
Okay, well, the spontaneous abortion, if I were to tell you, is a miscarriage. miscarriage date of August 12th of 2023 at 8 weeks pregnant.
Yes, but I also never was pregnant in 2019, so I don't know where that came from.
And Ms. Owens, based on what you know about pregnancy, as someone who's allegedly been pregnant 3 or 4 times in the past, if you miscarried at 8 weeks pregnant, that wouldn't line up with your alleged conception date with Mr. Echard, would it?
I don't know, and I'm telling you, I never told them that I was 8 weeks pregnant and lost that on August 12th.
In your mom doc record and also in your deposition, self-reported that you passed 2 sacks which appeared to have a membrane, correct?
Correct.
And I'd like you to take a look at what we marked as Exhibit 49, this is your deposition transcript.
And she
Ms. Owens,
looks
you
like
recall
she's kind of
your
giggling
deposition
and
on March 1st,
laughing.
2024, correct?
Correct.
And your counsel at the time following that deposition was provided with a copy of this transcript as well as you, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't take any opportunity to correct this transcript.
I actually didn't see it until you guys sent it to us. My former counsel never showed this to me. So,
Okay. Well, you're aware that this has been marked as a copy of your deposition transcript for March 1st of 2024, correct?
correct.
And this is a true and accurate copy of the transcript that you received, correct?
From your office, yes. I did not get one prior to that.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 49, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Is that A or B, counsel? I apologize.
I guess it would be, Your Honor.
C49 is received.
And Ms. Owens, during your deposition, specifically on page 149, lines 18 through 21, you testified that you started spotting, meaning you were having a light period in August or September, correct?
I wasn't having a light period. I didn't end up getting a period until November.
Well, in your
I said
deposition,
light spotting, but sorry. I said light spotting, but that wasn't a period.
in your deposition, page 151, line 24, you claim you passed the 2 sacks which appeared to have a membrane in September or October, correct?
Correct.
But in the mom doc records, you claim you passed the 2 sacks a few weeks after your alleged ultrasound at Planned Parenthood, right?
Several weeks after.
She can't
Right?
keep her
Right.
eyes straight at this.
I wasn't sure what the date was.
No OBGYN or qualified medical professional conducted an ultrasound, performed a physical examination, or performed a blood test to confirm your alleged pregnancy on or before August 1st of 2023, right?
Wrong.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I suspected you would answer that this way. You claim that you had an alleged ultrasound at Planned Parenthood in Southern California, correct?
Correct.
And you testified during your deposition that the alleged ultrasound at Planned Parenthood was in Mission Viejo, California on July 7th of 2023, right?
I did say it was there. That's where I was staying at the time. At Mission Viejo.
While being examined by your attorney, Mr. Ingris, you said that you went to Planned Parenthood under a fake name, right? But you didn't bother to provide our office with the alleged name that you went to Planned Parenthood under, right?
Right.
And you knew that we were seeking your records from Planned Parenthood specifically because of the alleged ultrasound that you had there, right?
Right.
So wouldn't it have made sense for you to provide our office with a copy or the name that you allegedly went to Planned Parenthood under?
I thought that the whole purpose of going to Planned Parenthood is to remain anonymous, and that's one of my protections.
Now, this part pissed me off because first of all, ma'am, you are alleging that someone is the father of your child. These people are doing discovery on you, trying to figure out when you went and got this ultrasound done. So what in your right mind made you believe that you were entitled to some type of privacy? Even if you were allowed to go to Planned Parenthood under a fake name and you got away with it. Sure. But when they are asking you for this in a court case to establish whether you're pregnant or not, and you're saying you're pregnant and you went there under Sally Sue, why would you not say, oh, I did go to Planned Parenthood, but I went under Sally Sue. You're not going to find it under my name. Why is this the first time that this is coming up? I'm sorry, y'all, that I'm yelling, but what? I thought I was entitled to my privacy because I went to Planned Parenthood. Ma'am, you are not entitled to any more privacy because you have a lawsuit going on, okay? You gave permission to your medical records. You can't have private Jane Doe medical records, but then your regular medical records are all good and gravy? No, absolutely not. Sorry, y'all. I had to pause on that. That really pissed me off. I don't know who coached. No, I'm not going to ask who coached her on that, okay? Her attorney. I'm sure they had this discussion. That would be my opinion. They talked about it. Okay, well, how are we going to explain this? Oh, matter of fact, you went under Sally Sue. So tell them that at the court, and we've been going through this case for almost a year now, and this is the first time that this is coming up. Really? Because I thought I had privacy. What privacy? You're giving them your private information, which is your medical records. So you should have said, oh, and I also went under an alias, Sally Sue, or I don't know what the name was. I'm just making that up. But what is she talking about? Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how she got away with it. She didn't get away with it, but I don't know why she thought that was going to be successful. But anyways, I digress. Let's go on.
I want to take a look at Exhibit 28. Is this a true and accurate picture of the ultrasound you received at Planned Parenthood in California in July of 2023?
That looks like it, yes.
I move to Exhibit 28, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
B28 is received.
And Ms. Owens, this ultrasound image does not say Planned Parenthood. It says SMIL, which I'll call SMILE for today, correct?
Correct.
And in your deposition, you admitted you altered this ultrasound picture to say SMILE instead of Planned Parenthood, right?
Correct.
And you admitted in your deposition to altering this picture on the Adobe Acrobat program at your house, right?
Correct.
During the deposition, you testified that the date listed here on
And if you got it done at Planned Parenthood, why would you then change it to say you got it done somewhere else? This is just not smart.
July 7th of 2023 was correct and hadn't been edited by you, right?
Correct.
But you later admit that you lied about this July 7th ultrasound date, right?
Correct.
And you executed an affidavit on April 16th of 2024, claiming the correct date for this already doctored ultrasound is actually July 2nd of 2020, correct?
Correct.
So I want to get this straight, Owens. You initially claimed you had an ultrasound at Planned Parenthood on July 7th, which you doctored to say it was from Smile, right?
Correct.
Then the story changes again, and you claim that the ultrasound image should actually be dated July 2nd of 2020, right?
Correct.
So you changed the date on the ultrasound from July 2nd to July 7th, correct?
Correct.
And you utilized this altered or fake ultrasound to try to convince Mr. Echard and the court and the media that you were pregnant with Mr. Echard's twins.
This was never submitted to the court.
You're aware that Planned Parenthood has no record of an ultrasound, correct?
Under my real name, yes, I'm aware.
And again, established you didn't provide our office with the name of your that you allegedly went to Planned Parenthood under, correct?
Correct.
That's wrong.
Yes, I did.
Can't do that. I don't know why they thought they were going to get away with that. And then she just really laid out all of her lies. And she's just like, correct, I lied.
Regarding your records in April 26th of 2024, correct?
Correct. I don't believe I've seen this, but I have no idea.
And counsel, I'm so sorry. I'll stop the clock like I've done for the others. We're going to give you a microphone because as I anticipated, there was a problem picking up.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, I lied about that. Yeah, I lied about that. Yeah, I lied about that. But believe me today.
All right, go ahead. Thank you.
Come on now.
Ms. Owens, Exhibit 29 is a copy of our request and the response for Planned Parenthood regarding your records in April 26th of 2024, correct?
Correct.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 29, Your Honor.
Objection.
No objection.
B29 is received.
And while you've indicated today that you went to Planned Parenthood under a fake name, the letter actually indicates that you had scheduled an appointment for July 2nd, but that you failed to attend.
Correct.
Like your lies are not thought.
It also indicates that the ultrasound image that you claimed was from Planned Parenthood was not from Planned Parenthood because it was not consistent with ultrasound images generated by their practice, right?
Not by the one in Mission VAO. Correct.
Ms. Owens, these are yes or no questions. This document states
Yes
that
or
the
no.
ultrasound image you have claimed is from Planned Parenthood is not consistent with ultrasound images generated by their practice, right?
By that practice, as they said, it could have been seen by another different entity.
Ms. Owens, you're well aware that this request covered all of Orange County and San Bernardino
It
County.
didn't cover Los Angeles, though.
Ma'am, why are you doing this to yourself? This is what I meant to do. This is what I was meaning to do. Let me go ahead and look up where Mission Viejo is. I'm pretty sure it's not. Let me see. Before I start talking, Mission Viejo, what county? Let's see. What county is it's in Orange County. Mission Viejo is in Orange County. Okay. This lady told them just 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago on the live stream that she told them they went to the Mission Viejo Planned Parenthood in California because that is where she was staying. That came out of Lauren's mouth. Okay. That came directly out of her mouth. That is where she was staying. And that's the one she went to. All of 15 minutes ago. Now she is saying it did not cover Los Angeles County. Ma'am, why would it cover Los Angeles County if you went in Mission VAO? Okay? Why would it cover that? Please explain. So now you're going under fake names, okay? Now you're going under different counties. Why didn't you say LA 6 months ago? And why didn't you tell us about Sally Sue 6 months ago? We wouldn't be here, okay? We would not be here. And also, Planned Parenthood does not even do freaking sonograms like that. What are you talking about? And then she's telling us she went under a different name, but she scheduled an appointment under her regular name. Y'all, I'm happy she's not my client. Oh my gosh.
So now you're saying you went to Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So you're telling us you went to Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles on the day of trial today.
Yes.
Okay. When did you go to Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles?
Exactly when I said I went.
When was that?
July 2nd.
I'd like to go back to the 2 SACs you passed. So again, in your deposition, you claimed you passed them in September or October, right?
Yes.
But then you changed the date and claimed that you passed these 2 SACs on July 23rd of 2020, right?
Right.
And you actually had an appointment scheduled with Dr. McCool, who you claimed is your high-risk perinatalist, for July 24th of 2023, right?
Right, that I canceled days prior.
Okay, so you canceled that appointment.
Days prior.
And you rescheduled it to August 7th, right?
Yes, if that's the date that I did.
So wouldn't you agree with me that for someone who has had miscarriages in the past and who has an alleged high-risk pregnancy, it would be prudent to attend an in-person appointment shortly after passing 2 sacks?
Well, that's why I asked the doctors online.
Oh, these are yes or no questions.
And you didn't ask the doctors online until 3 months later. What are you talking about? You asked the doctors online in November, right? Isn't that what you did? The mom doc thing was November. And she said, I had, high risk, but I didn't go to the doctor after big things came out of me while I'm supposed to be pregnant. Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. And even if it happened in October, you still didn't go to the doctors until November. Please correct me if I'm saying the wrong date, but I believe she talked to Mom Doc in November. And allegedly these sacks passed either in July or October, or I guess she said October or November, but either way, let's go on.
I'm
You're looking at your attorney, but you need to look at
shaking.
the question for me.
Okay, can you ask the question again?
Wouldn't you agree that as someone who has a high-risk pregnancy that allegedly passed 2 sacks on July 23rd of 2023, it would have been important for you to see your high-risk perinatalist immediately after that happening?
Well, that's why I that's why I immediately contacted telemedicine.
When?
It was at night.
You contacted a telemed provider instead of attending the appointment with your high-risk perinatalist.
It had already been canceled days prior.
Oh gosh, Lamb, come on now. She thinks she's getting over.
Scheduled with Dr. McCool that you never attended, right?
Correct.
And you intentionally failed to attend those appointments because all of those appointments would have resulted in a medical record that stated you were not pregnant, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained to the form of the question, but you can ask the question in a different way.
I don't like how DeAndre
During the November 2nd hearing, you denied that the
direction
DNA
there.
test results came back with little to no fetal DNA, right?
What?
During the November 2nd hearing,
I said that the test
Answer the question, Ms. Owen. During the November 2nd hearing, you denied that the DNA test results came back with little to no fetal DNA. Ms. Owen, I see you continue.
No, I didn't. I never said it didn't. I said it came back inconclusive.
I'm confused about what date she's referring to. What,
November 2nd.
November 2nd hearing.
November 2nd hearing.
Okay, again,
Sir, where have you been this whole hearing? You don't know about the November 2nd hearing? I know about that, and I got put onto this case last week. And I am seeing those hands. Stop the case. Stop the case. Okay.
before my time, so that's why I'm confused. I apologize.
Can you answer the question?
I said it was inconclusive and it was little to no fetal DNA. I never said it came back anything but that.
Okay, well, today you've admitted that there was little to no fetal DNA, right?
I've never said there was anything else.
You also ordered and took a blood HCG test through any lab test now on October 16th of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And I'd like you to take a look at Exhibit 36, page 201. So this has already been admitted, so we'll move past that. By the time of this test on November 16th, you had claimed you were previously seen at Banner, Planned Parenthood, Dr. McCool, Dr. Higley, and even Dr. Zeman, right?
Your Honor, objection. She misstated the date. She said September 16th, I believe. It's October
Is that
16th.
going to be addressed and redirect?
I
Right.
said that Dr. McCool's my doctor. I did not say that I had seen him. I said I had seen Dr. Higley and the rest. Correct.
We'll talk about Dr. Higley soon, but your answer is. Would you like me to repeat the question, Ms. Owens? Okay, I'm going to stand here because it seems like you're looking at Mr. Gingrich quite a bit for guidance.
He really is.
No, I don't need guidance from my attorney. I know how to answer the questions.
Obviously
By the
not.
time of your appointment for this test on October 16th of 2023, you claimed you were previously seen at Banner, Planned Parenthood, Dr. Higley, and even Dr. Zeman, right?
Yes.
But instead of going to any of those providers for this test, you went to an entirely new provider, correct?
I just went on my way home from taking the lab gen test actually.
Yes or no questions, Ms. Owens?
Well, it wasn't a provider. It was a self-paid test. So
Okay, so you didn't go to
Yes
any
or no?
providers for this test, right?
correct.
By your own admission in your affidavit signed April 16th of 2024, this result of an HCG level of 102 is not consistent with pregnancy, right?
Objection. Misstates the testimony.
Overruled. You can answer.
Oh, can you say it again? I'm sorry.
By your own admission, the test result of 102 for the level for HCG is not consistent with a pregnancy.
Objection.
I learned
Why did you object again and the court just overruled? Like, what was the purpose?
that it was.
You learned that it was consistent with pregnancy or was not consistent with pregnancy.
Well, the test results said anything above 4 was pregnant, so I thought 102 was pregnant, but then I learned it was not.
Yeah, like 3 seconds pregnant.
So you would agree with me that this is not consistent with pregnancy.
No, I wouldn't.
You doctored this particular test twice in someone, correct?
I doctored the test once.
Okay, and when was that?
Yeah. To get on the stand and say, I doctored it once. I I get her point that she's trying to be truthful, but it does not make you look good. Like, I wouldn't even repeat the word. Yeah, I doctored it. Yeah, that's the doctored test. Like, you're not helping yourself. That's a test I doctored. Yeah, I used Adobe. Well, this one I didn't use Adobe on. Like, did her and her attorney discuss this? Because that not only doctored it once. What are you talking about? Only one time, not 3 times, or what is it? 2 times. Insane. Like, I have never seen anything like this.
When I tried to send it to Dave Neal to get him to stop creating harassing videos at me.
And what amount of document level is that?
Did y'all think that Dave Neal's name would come up this much in this trial? He's not even on the stand.
It was like 102,000, I believe.
So if you pull up exhibit 17, page 113. And so you'll recognize this as it looks like the same test from October 16th, but it has an HCG level different than what you just indicated, and it says 131,902.
Okay.
So you doctored this test.
No, I didn't know what the number was that I had made it to.
Only so I agree with you. You doctored this test twice. One to say 102,000 and again to say 131,902, right?
I doctored it, I guess, to say 131,902.
As of October 17th, 2023, when you received this test.
Hey, y'all, this is the one where her attorney put on his blog that Deandra tried to stick to the point that she doctored it to say 102,000. I do remember reading that in the pre-trial statement, but I didn't see anything to say that it was doctored twice to 131,000. So if anyone knows where the 102,000 one came from, or if it was just like a typo from Clayton's attorneys, let me know, because she did stick to she only doctored it once. And the pretrial statement for or the pretrial brief for Clayton did say the 102,000, but I don't remember seeing the 131,000 or whatever it was. So let me know if y'all know.
Result. You had reason to believe you were not pregnant, right?
Yes, after doing some research, yes.
Okay. But then you proceeded to lie under oath at hearings before this court on October 24th, October 25th, and November 2nd, correct?
That's not correct, no.
Instead of telling the truth, you tampered with this HCG test to increase the level and offered that as support for a pregnancy.
To a content creator, not to the court.
You also testified on November 2nd, unequivocally, that your OBGYNs were Dr. McCool and Dr. Higley, right?
Right.
In fact, you went so far as to state that your main OBGYN is the perinatologist, Dr. McCool, right?
Correct.
You further testified on November 2nd that you had last seen Dr. Higley on last Friday, right?
Right.
You lied to the court when you made those statements.
I had the appointment scheduled, which you guys have.
Yes or no questions.
I know, but it needs to be answered. Correct. It needs to be answered. I had an appointment scheduled with him that I did not attend, but I did have an appointment scheduled.
Okay, so when you
Who does she think she is? It needs to be answered. Ma'am, that's not what I asked you.
say you were seen by a doctor, that's not the same as having an appointment scheduled, correct?
Correct.
So we would agree
Yeah,
that you
answer
were
the
dishonest
question.
when you said you were physically seen by Dr. Higley the Friday before the November 2nd hearing.
Correct. That's a very minor thing.
Stop.
It's a very minor thing. Who does she think she is? Yep, that's a very minor thing. No, you doctored a test. This is not a minor thing. Where does she get the audacity?
Yeah, really.
So
You know,
you've never been seen
I mean, if
by-
this is good, I'm not comfortable with this. If the JFC crew is going to be
Works.
having reactions, honestly.
Okay, I'm going to stop the clock at this time. Counsel, you ask questions. Ma'am, you answer the questions. I could ask the gallery to please keep your
I
reactions-
think I
I'm
can't.
still talking, ma'am. Keep your comments to a minimum or you will be asked to leave. Go ahead, counsel.
Yeah, you can't talk over the
You've never been
judge.
seen by Dr. McCool, Dr. Higley for any medical appointment, correct?
Correct.
And the records from Dr. McCool's office indicate that you made 4 appointments that you never attended, correct?
Correct.
And the records from Dr. Higley's office that we obtained indicate that they have no records for you from August 2020 through the present, right?
I'm sorry. You said Dr. Higley or Dr. McCool. Can I take a minute?
We have just a
Aw.
5-minute recess.
Sure, at this time. No, go ahead. What were you going to say, counsel?
I'm just concerned about our time constraint. That's all you're. So
Well, we factored in a 10-minute break, so what we'll do is we'll take it now. And then when we come back, there will be no further breaks, so that's just something for the parties to keep in mind. We'll stand in.
all right.
All right, y'all. So we got crybaby over here. Let me go ahead and mute the computer screen. So she is crying on the stand because the the JFC community is Justice for Clayton is in the gallery making reactions as people do in the gallery. I have to admit for myself, sometimes I make reactions while I'm watching other cases, or even on my own cases, I'll make my own faces. So For her to sit there and be like, oh, well, they're making reactions. Stop looking at the crowd. You shouldn't even be looking out there to notice that they're making any reaction. So I'm going to go ahead and have Bossy B bring us into some chats here while they take their break. So we got about 10 minutes of chat to go through. And also, give me a second. Let's get Bossy B in here. Y'all, I've been completely missing marking timestamps this whole stream. I've just been all over the place. Sorry about that. But anyways, I have also been informed that we hit our like goal, which was 150 likes for the live stream. And we are currently at 215 likes, y'all. We have 260 people watching live. So if you have not hit the live button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm. We are trying to grow the channel, and we are so lucky to have welcomed so many new viewers to the channel and also so many new subscribers over the last week. So welcome in, and again, hit the like button so we can get more friends over at the BriHive Live. Okay. So we have our like goal animation. For those of you that are new here, our like goal animation is really loud in the beginning. So if you are sensitive to the sounds, make sure you turn your volume down. And I am going to play the like goal in 3, 2, 1. All right, shout out to the BriHive rated the like goal. Shout out to us. Let's see what the chat has to say so far. It's pure audacity. This is like my second time watching this, and it just gets worse and worse each time that I do watch it. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, her attorney coddled her through everything. We got new information like her going under a Jane Doe name. And then we just learned during cross-examination, not even in direct, that now she went in Los Angeles County. So you directed them to the wrong place, right? You let them do the discovery and you directed them to the wrong place. Yeah, I don't think this case is going to go well for you at all. I really don't think the case is going to go well for her. I completely forgot about that. Okay, we had some people saying that we reached our like goal. So I'm just going to skip over those ones so we can get through the chats. We got Ann Tuttle becoming a member of the channel. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the support. Welcome to the BriHive membership. And for those of you that don't know, because I know we do have a lot of new viewers today, in our membership, if you are a member of the live stream, we do a members live stream once per month where the members of the channel get to come onto the live stream and talk about the different cases that we cover, or sometimes we just do fun ones that are like Reddit stories. But you are able to come on the live stream and chat with me live, which is always fun. We love a good chat in the chat box, but we also love the conversation live because a lot of people that watch this channel, you guys have really good opinions, and a lot of you should start your own channels. I'm just going to put it out there. A lot of people should start their own channels, but you would rather listen to me stutter over my words, which I appreciate. But I do think that a lot of the people in the chat also have really good opinions. Welcome to the membership again. We have Carice Heitzman saying the audio wasn't Lauren's fault. She was hooked into the court's audio. She didn't have her own microphones. Yes, that makes sense. And again, there's nothing we can do about the, video cutting out. That was just, technical difficulties during the court. And then also the court's mics are not always the best. So yes, thank you for that. Wink says it's like 90 Lauren's last name. It's like 90. Oh, for Lauren's last name. Really? That's a cool way to spell it. And Tuttle says, according to California law, what do you think the judge would give her any kind of sentence? I do not practice criminal law, so I do not know about sentencing. In a family court, the judge cannot send her to jail or anything like that. So basically what will happen is that if they do find that she committed perjury and fraud and all of these things, they can refer her to the criminal court, or even Clayton can report her to the not the criminal court, but to the district attorney to determine whether they're going to press charges against her, which I think in this case, based on what I'm seeing so far, somebody definitely should report her to the DA so that some charges can be brought, especially once the ruling comes down of the court finding that there was perjury. Hopefully she finds that. Brady Joe Trombetta says she is trying to go for the emotional distress caused her weight loss to sue the journalist covering the case. Oh gosh. Or are you trying to prove that you couldn't have been pregnant then because you're normally 90 pounds? That's what I want to know. Is she normally that small? Please let me know if anybody knows any ex-boyfriends. Y'all know her weight or not? Or do we not get to like the boyfriend category? I don't know. It sounds like a lot of people don't make it to the boyfriend category. AZ Techie says she should be banned from Mom Doc on account of not being a mom. And you know what is interesting? This is funny. You know what is interesting is she got up there and said the Mom Doc report was incorrect, but she wants us to rely on certain portions. But look, y'all, I contacted Mom Doc and they told me that I was no longer pregnant. Ma'am, you just told us that there are misrepresentations in that document, but you want us to believe that particular part on your behalf? I think not. Not as much as you've been telling a story is what we like to call it, right? Cindy Brown says there's another court that has their own opinions. That is the court of public opinion, and that may be a harsh reality for Laura. And the thing is, now you've become kind of like a pseudo celebrity through this case because you're creating nonsense, in my opinion. Tanya D says her vocal fry is killing me. Sorry. Carice Heitzman says, I get cysts on my ovaries. A lot of people do. There is a lot more to a PCOS diagnosis than she thinks. She would need to see a specialist, not just an OBGYN. She determined that she was pregnant with twins because she peed on a stick. You think that she's going to go to a specialist to determine whether she has PCOS? I definitely get your point, but is this the most, medically inclined person? I don't know if we can say that. We got Zoe B, another member of the channel, saying she claimed to not have periods, so she just happened to be hyper ovulating that one night to conceive twins without any sperm. Yes. Yeah. Do you not believe that? Like, why do you not believe that? I mean, do we? No, we don't believe that. I agree with Zoe B. She also claims that she doesn't have periods. So it gets more sketchy as the case goes on. Like, okay, you went in Mission Viejo at the beginning of the trial. Now you're in Los Angeles, and then you doctored not only doctored a sonogram, but you also doctored the HCG levels on a document, whether it was 102,000 or 130 some odd thousand, you still doctored 2 medical records. And we're supposed to believe that you were ever pregnant. And then when you did have the opportunity to say, no, this is really my sonogram, I went under Sally Sue, you didn't tell them about Sally Sue. And not only did you not tell them about Sally Sue, you also didn't tell them that you went in Los Angeles. Like, what? How does that even come out on cross? I got to go back and watch her attorney's reaction because he was probably like, wait, what, Los Angeles? Well, when did we get there? Star says, if a documentary is made on a major streaming service, then all her victims would have a voice. I also hope they file perjury charges. I agree. If the documentary comes out, she'll be trying to sue them, in my opinion. But, they can try. Especially if you get Dave Neal on there, she's definitely going to try to sue the documentary. Nicholas Hall says, is changing her testimony on a trial date something she can get sanctioned for? Not necessarily sanctioned for, but the court can find perjury. They can find that she is also not credible as well. They can just erase all of her testimony and disregard all of her testimony because she's not credible. So that is a thing. And the fact that you submitted a Mom Doc document and I said, oh, well, some of that information is incorrect, but I want you to believe some of this information. But also, I doctored all of these documents. And also, I never told you I went to LA. And also, I never told, like, girl, just get off the stand. Go sit down somewhere. She should have never testified. I'm going to stick to that. She should have never testified, okay? Cynthia says, go off, girl. We got the spicy brie for sure. We got Amy Bonner says, I like your spunk. Thank you very much. We got Tanya D saying, spicy brie, you know, when you get liars like this, Tanya, I have to get spicy. Alyssa S says, I am just as annoyed as you. It gets worse and worse. Deacon Fatal says, go off, had to. Cat Lady Ballerina says, it's called Planned Parenthood, not Planned Parenthood Anonymous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So protect your identity. And even if you did, why would you not give them that name? Why is that just coming out in trial? Okay. That could have came out in deposition in March. That could have came out on November 2nd during that hearing. It could have came out all these other times. So why is it just now coming out? It's absolutely ridiculous. Jermaine Down says, can't the judge take a negative inference due to this discovery abuse? Yes. The court can just find that she's not credible and disregard everything that she has said to the end of the trial. They could disregard everything. And honestly, to tell y'all the truth, I think Clayton, for the short time that he was on the stand, he did a very good job in expressing himself. He did answer the question too far sometimes for me, like basically seeming a little bit rehearsed to me, but he definitely had a good energy on the stand and he was direct and to the point. So yes, they can say she's not truthful, right? I'm going to give you permission to look at my medical records. However, I'm not going to tell you that I went under a different name. Again, perjury. And not only did she say that she went under a different name, at first she said she went anonymously. Going anonymously versus going under a different name are two completely different things. So I don't know what her ideas are, but I don't like them. I don't like them at all. AZ Techie says her next venture is a start in a facility called Planned Parenthood where you can get fake sonograms. I mean, I just wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Alyssa S says she said she had an abortion and needed to contact someone via telehealth because it was after hours. Anyone who was pregnant knows that there are triage doctors and nurses after hours, and you go to the emergency room, they can help you, urgent care, they can help you. You are supposed to go to doctors after having a miscarriage. And sorry, y'all, I forgot to give y'all a trigger warning earlier about miscarriages or abortions or whatever it may be. Baby, losing babies earlier on in the pregnancy. But she's basically claiming all of these different things, but she still let the lawsuit go on for months after knowing or should have known that these things have occurred. I don't think she was ever pregnant. Y'all, let me know in the chat if y'all think she was ever pregnant. Let me know. Cindy Brown says, about the only thing you can get anonymous from Planned Parenthood is a condom, right? MZ says, hiya all, bopped a like over an hour ago when first saw Breeze going on live. Congrats on your 13K subs. Thank you very much. Nice to see you in the live stream tonight. And also thank you everyone who has hit the like button. Definitely appreciate the support. Cindy Brown says, I'm going to be pretty PO'd if the judge finds her credible. I would probably give up the practice of law if that happened. Okay. But I don't think she will. I don't think anyone can find her credible at this point. Like, even if we wanted to believe her, I don't even think we can, right? Teresa S says, the end was telling me, listen closely to the judge says, as far as before they went on break. Bruce from Oregon says, Bree, would you be Bree? You would be 100 times better than Gringas, but Laura would have fired you from having ethics. Oh, I would have been fired. I would have been kicked out. I'll tell y'all a story. I have this opposing this opposing party on one of my cases. And she's just not happy with what I'm doing with the case because I'm basically not letting this person walk all over my client. And so I was on the phone with them. They basically told me I'm a bad lawyer. And I was like, are you shaming me? I'm a bad lawyer because I don't agree with your offer. I was like, okay, whatever, ma'am. Ma'am, I will pass your offer over to my client. I cannot talk about this anymore. You just called me bad. Like, what are we in kindergarten? It was out of control. But this happens, right? You get clients that you can't work with. And for whatever reason, Gringas still picked her up and still decided to fight the trial and then has the nerve to be like, what date? What November hearing are we talking about? Have you not been involved in this full-on trial? Like, how do you not know the November 2nd date? I know that date, and I wasn't even there, okay? He wasn't there either, but I just found out about this case last week. So, yeah, she would have fired me for sure. Cynthia says, Bree, read the email Dave broadcast today after this. It's madness. If I can find it, hopefully Kimmy will be able to grab it for me. We can. Alyssa S says, Gringas said 102,000 on Twitter. So her attorney is the one that brought up this number. Zoe B says, Lauren Owens is stalling to run out the clock. Apparently, yeah, that's what I would think too. But also it looks like Clayton's attorneys had a lot of questions to ask still anyways. Zoe B says the gallery reaction was nothing more than a collective exhale of low snicker at her saying her arts and crafts were minor lies. Yeah, minor lies. Just a little bit. That's minor. That's minor. My arts and crafts. And when you're saying arts and crafts, we're not talking about like putting a star foam on a paper. We're talking about her changing medical records, falsifying medical documents. That arts and crafts, that's minor. You cannot do that, ma'am. You just can't. Avid Reader Red X says, she said minor, and everyone in the gallery started thinking minor perjury, maybe. Yes. And then she started crying. Ma'am, why don't you just cry instead of lie? I don't know. Start crying. M169 says, it was her use of the word minor. Megan did a song called Minor Perjury. Okay, that makes sense. Alyssa S says, who can report her to the DA? Clayton can report her to the DA. The court can report her to the DA. I'm sure if they get enough people reporting her to the DA, they're eventually going to look into it. Have you guys heard about this case? I think civilians can also report it as well, but most of the times it's the person that has actually been harmed because they need to be able to, testify against them. Leon G says she had 2 positive pregnancy tests, so it must be twins. I thought she had 5, so now she's having 5 kids at once. And we're talking about pregnancy tests, but it's really HCG. You still have to go to the doctor to confirm that you're pregnant. Mispronounced name says, if Laura hadn't testified, could Clayton have called her? Yes. He could have still called her to the stand. Cynthia, $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. I can't see the animation because, it just says thank you with a little pear. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the support. Cindy Brown says Dave is working on a documentary. Laura also went to several news outlets. Saw when she sent an email screenshot today. Yeah, and she was like doing her own news media, and her attorney is doing freaking blogs. Like, what is up with that? Cindy Brown says she didn't prove she was pregnant. That will be important. Exactly. I agree with you. Jay says, can she be charged with medical fraud for doctoring evidence and using real doctors as the writing reports to support her stories and never have seen her? I assume so. I don't practice that kind of law, but I'm sure they could do that. Zoe B says the judge ordered her to provide name and info from all medical providers going back to 2 years. So in theory, she's thumbing her nose at the judge's order. Thank you for pulling that out because I did not know that was a court order. I thought that she just granted permission for Clayton's attorney to go after those documents. But you're saying the court actually ordered her. So again, your lies are not helping, and if they're the truth, they're not good truths, ma'am. Those are also not helping you. Oh, do I keep saying Lauren? I'm sorry, y'all. Thank you, Kimmy, for that. Yes, it is Laura. Her name is Laura. I'm sorry if I'm calling her Lauren. Sorry. Kentari, another member of the channel, welcome back in, says if you're pregnant, the ER has a specific area that's L&L triage. Yes. She could have went to any doctor, right? Not any doctor, but any hospital at that time. Amy Bonner says, I don't think she's ever been pregnant at all. Does anyone know if there's an actual test that can tell if a woman has been pregnant before? I don't know if that's a thing. But one other thing, they said something about, she was like, it also said I was pregnant in 2019 and that's not true. And I'm like, okay, well, when were you pregnant with all these other people? Was that not in 2019? I don't know when she made the allegations against the other people. So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she did tell them that information. Cindy Brown says, well, with Mike, it took like 6 kinds of abortions, including when she had the fake cancer. Ridiculous. Jane Jones says, I'm sure Judge Mata had her mind made on this case before she walked into the courtroom. Sometimes that does happen. I'm not saying it's the case here. Cindy Brown says, well, she's back on dating apps, so there's still one fool out there. Please, no one swipe right. No. Just, you might want to report her for fraud, maybe. I don't know. Fair for All says, She was never pregnant. Can't scream it loud enough. A lot of people do not believe she was ever pregnant. Tanja McGovern says her stories are crazy. No period and PCOS make it difficult to get pregnant, but she has been pregnant with twins 3 times. She's a miracle. And isn't there another allegation of a fake pregnancy, but it was just a single baby? The dehydrated slime says he knew the date. He just had to hurry up and say something, do the timeout signal because he was caught gesturing Laura. Oh, makes sense. Good call. A good catch. Cindy Brown says Judge Mata also wrapped the duty hearing into this one. So the restraining order may get lifted, legal fees to Clayton and sanctions. Hopefully. I hope so. Zoe B says, so what they were really saying was you're a bad lawyer as is you're an excellent lawyer. Yeah, exactly. Because double bad means good, right? Oh, like you're bad. Yeah. Or I don't know if that's the right. Well, yeah, I need to stop singing on live streams. That's just that it is what it is. I need to stop singing on live streams. Kitty Clocker says you're bad for that lawyer and their client like liar. Yeah, exactly. I'm bad for them because they're not getting what they want. Avid Reader Red says if she is found not credible, it could the judge make a finding of non-paternity for Clayton? Yes. She didn't prove that he was the father. He also didn't prove that he wasn't. I don't think he really proved that he was not the father because of the DNA testing, but I think that they did prove that she was never pregnant. So by proving that she was never pregnant, you prove that you're not the father. Non-paternity. That's the finding, right? Amy Bonner says Megan Fox wrote a song called Minor Perjury and it's really catchy. I have not heard it, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Teresa S says it does get worse. I could see the forest through the trees in it, but on the outside looking in, it's much worse. It is bad. Angel Raburn says there is testing to see if a woman has ever been pregnant ever, and if there was attachment to the uterus science. Interesting. I did not know that was a thing. Holly Talbot says Bree, the Planned Parenthood in LA are closed on Sundays, which is when she said she went and got the ultrasound done. That was doctor. So it just gets worse. It gets worse as we keep going, right? Scorpion says, of course she was having twins, y'all. There was 2 lines on the test. Why don't you guys believe her? Why don't we believe her? Jane Jones says she thumbs her nose at attorneys, judges, everyone who doesn't believe her lies. She got to do better. Ashley says, I say Lauren for Laura too. You're not alone. I'm sorry. Laura, I see a lot more Laurens than Laura's. Dragon says she also lied about her court case history. Oh, yeah. That one, I'll give her that one because Deandra did not ask that question right. She should have asked, were you in a court case this year? What about this year? What about this year? She should have asked it a little bit more directly because just to say, oh, you were in back-to-back court cases or you've been in and out of court cases or whatever the wording she used was not, it did not solicit the answer. It allowed Laura to answer how she did. So I don't fault Laura for that particular answer. I think Deandra could have asked that question a lot better and specifically say, weren't you in a paternity action for this one? Didn't you have a restraining court for this one? Didn't you have a restraining order? Didn't you lie about a pregnancy with that person? I think that would have been a better line of questioning, but I'm not the lawyer. Cindy Brown says Discovery Medical Records went back further to cover Greg G's case. Also, when she signed the HIPAA releases, she put the wrong year. She had to do them over. She's a sketchy person. That's all I have to say. She's sketchy. Alyssa S says, I don't know of a test that someone has been pregnant previously, but most people have records. Yeah, and a lot of it is self-reporting, but apparently there is a test that can do it. Ashley says, I hope the DA does get notice of this case and goes after it. No more victims. I agree. She needs to be punished. Okay. Jay says, how can you prove a negative? That is what Laura Owens was trying to do. Dragon says, Woodnick did a good job showing her motive. I agree. Sir Crazy says, why should he have to prove he's not the father if he knows they didn't have intercourse? because he doesn't want the responsibility. I know that the babies are no longer there, or allegedly no longer there, but he's the one contesting paternity, so he would be the one that has to prove it. So if this was a regular case, he would need to be the one going to get the paternity test and presenting that to the court. If she presented her own paternity test that she says she swabbed him in the middle of the night and then swabbed the baby and he had no indication, he would then have to bring his counter evidence in. I went through this accredited DNA testing. So if he's the one trying to prove non-paternity, he has to present evidence for that. Let's see here. Chris Jenner, lovely name, says the security guard in the overflow room told us, you guys can still tweet in here though. We were all laughing, gasping, and exclaiming, and no one cared. LOL. It was fun. It's always better to be in an overflow room than there personally. Otherwise, you make Laura cry. Okay. Stir Crazy says she didn't ask about the court cases one by one because they had so little time. That does make sense, but it also allowed Laura to answer how she did. Teresa S says, which view is better, Kris Jenner, the media feed or the court feed? Cindy Brown says the case with Greg G just finished up earlier this year. And the Angel Robin says, once you produce the chemicals in pregnancy, you have them for life. Do you? Interesting. Ashley says the changes on when she miscarried, any woman who had a genuine miscarriage would remember when, also where. And the thing is, the date that she's sticking to was before she ever filed the case. So why file the case if you thought you had a miscarriage already? Kimmy Walker says, don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. We're about to hit 13,100. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Shout out to Kimmy for that. And for those of you who do not know who Kimmy is, she is our, I haven't said it like in the last 2 streams, member, moderator, consultant, paralegal of the channel. She grabs all the things for me. So shout out to Kimmy Walker. She grabbed all these videos to make sure I was prepared for the live stream to get today. So make sure y'all shout her out too. Okay? Alexis S says, I feel so horribly for all her victims and those who haven't been given a voice, and hopefully this case will be the one to do it. Sydney Brown says he's trying to clear his name. She has cost him money and speaking fees, his reputation, and legal fees. And didn't he lose, didn't he get in trouble with the real estate board as well? I could be making that up. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, let's go ahead. And y'all feel free to keep chatting and let me know what y'all think about all of this that's going on for sure. If you believe Laura, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. If you don't believe Laura, go ahead and drop a 2 in the chat. I want to see if we have any Laura supporters in here because we have 290 people in the live stream, which is amazing. Welcome to you all. We are at 268 likes. We are almost triple our like goal. Oh, no, we're not. We're almost double our like goal because it was 150 for the live stream. But if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm. It does help us get more friends. And we are trying to reach another subscriber goal this month. So if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help out the channel. And it's free. It's absolutely free to do. You just have to poke a button, okay? And we just poke buttons all day on phones anyway, so it can't be that hard. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump back into Laura's testimony with on cross-examination with Clayton's attorney. Okay, here we go. Let's share our screen. And
Witnesses that you are still under oath. Counsel, if your client would like to resume the witness stand.
Quick time check, Judge.
Sure. Petitioners at 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Respondents at 22 minutes and 1 second.
Come on back, Laura. Let's see what else you got for the next.
So you testified at the November 2nd hearing that you had a due date of February 14th of 2024, which is Valentine's Day, correct?
Correct.
But you don't have a single medical record to support that alleged due date, right?
No, I do. I was trying to say I do have a record. That's what I was told by Tamara Lister at Banner Health, was that it would be Valentine's Day.
And you're aware that the record that you provided from Banner does not indicate any due date,
It
right?
was in conversation with her as to when the due date would be.
So yes or no
gonna
question,
stretch
you're
this.
aware that the record you provided from Banner lists no such due date, right?
It can't be answered in a yes or no manner. It's
Yes, it can. Did it have a due date on the paper or not? Do you think you're smarter than the justice system? Come on.
I'm saying
Yes, no, or I don't know.
so then can you please repeat the question?
Owens, you're aware that the record from Banner that you provided, that your attorney just admitted into evidence, does not have an alleged due date of any kind on it, right?
Okay, then yes.
I want you to take a look at what's our Exhibit 17, page 110. And this is the same as your Exhibit A1. This is a picture you took of a portion of a page from Banner, correct?
Correct.
Where is the rest of the document, Ms. Owens?
Clayton had it.
I'm asking you, where is the rest of the document in this particular exhibit?
I don't know, but there's nothing I was trying to hide from it. Clayton got the entire thing.
So do you recognize you've been accused of faking records in this case, right?
Yes.
And you expect
You admitted
the court
to
to
it.
accept a picture of a portion of an alleged record?
You guys got the results yourselves. So
These are yes or no questions.
Not the
That's
Court
not
gives you
fair.
an opportunity to conduct redirect examination, and you can elaborate then.
It's not fair.
I mean, that's not fair. You guys know that you have the results of this that show the same thing. So I wasn't hiding anything here. That's not fair.
I have to move on to ask if the court finds this non-responsive.
Court will designate it as non-responsive.
For someone who's been involved in court cases nonstop since at least 2016,
You know what? That's not accurate. I have not been involved nonstop since
You
Stop
cannot
the clock
do
for a
that.
minute, and I'm going to remind the parties. Counsel, you ask a question, ma'am, you answer the question. Otherwise, we move in.
And you see how the attorney, Deandra, just looked at the judge like, Your Honor, we do that a lot because witnesses get on the stand and they want to get their point across and they don't care if they're breaking the rules or whatever it is. So her looking at the attorney or the judge like that is so normal. So normal. Like, just answer the question. It's going to make you look bad. It's the opposing counsel asking you the questions. Your attorney gets to come back up and save you later on. So don't be combative like that. If anyone, this is not legal advice, but if you are in a court case, don't do that. It makes you look bad.
To a different area that I don't think anyone wants to go into. Counsel, resume.
Ms. Owens, you have been involved in court cases since at least 2016, correct?
nonstop, or are you saying since 2016? Can you just
She didn't ask you that. Stop adding. You're making your own questions. Just answer the question.
rephrase the question?
Answer the question as I've asked it. You've been involved in court cases since 2016.
No.
So she lied
This
then.
particular document, Exhibit A1, has 3 different types of highlighting on it, correct?
I see two.
And Isabel, if you can please pull our Exhibit 17, page 110. You'll see this is the same document, but I believe maybe when your office scanned it in, you can't see all the highlighting. So I'm going to show you ours. You see there's 3 different types of highlighting.
Yes.
And you highlighted this on the same Adobe Acrobat program that you used to alter the other records, correct?
This was the doctor highlighted point of care test results, and then I highlighted first trimester pregnancy and encounter for pregnancy test on my iPhone, but it wasn't Adobe Acrobat.
But you agree there's 3 different types of highlighting on this document, correct?
Yes.
And I want to talk to you about the date of this alleged HCG test. We can agree that a woman typically takes a pregnancy test when they miss their menstrual period, right?
Well, my case was different.
So these are yes or no questions.
I think the answer depends. I don't get a period, so I don't know how to answer that.
Okay. So
You cannot say the answer depends. That's an answer for a lawyer. It depends. It depends. You're not a lawyer. Don't say it depends. But now we know that she doesn't get a period. So
you don't get a regular period.
I don't.
So you took this test before even missing a period, right?
Correct.
And between 2014 and the present, you have alleged that you were pregnant by 4 different men, correct?
Correct.
And all 4 of those men told you, one way or another, that they believed you fabricated those pregnancies, right?
The first was not so specific about that.
3 of them are here today, right?
Correct.
And they also believe that you doctored medical records, right?
Objection foundation.
Sustained.
I'll move on, Your Honor. Ms. Owens, each time that one of these 3 men refused to be in a relationship with you and questioned your pregnancy narrative, you obtained an order of protection against them, right?
False.
Okay, well, you have an order of protection against Mr. Greg Gillespie, correct?
Correct.
And he didn't believe that you were ever pregnant with his child, right?
No, that's wrong. That's- He had me. I went to a doctor. He told me I needed to go to the specific doctor to confirm the pregnancy, which I did. I spoke to
Okay,
him.
stop. I'm striking that response. The court reporter has been very clear. Everyone's talking over each other for appellate purposes, and the fact that one of the parties is paying for the court reporter. I implore you, please, to talk one at a time. With regards to the objection, it's overruled. Go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, I'll move on in the interest of time. Ms. Owens, you didn't file an affidavit of financial information in this case, did you?
I did.
When did you file that?
August or September with the court.
Okay.
It's on the record.
Well, consistent with your deposition testimony and your April 16th affidavit, you would agree with me that you make approximately $200,000 a year and then have approximately $500,000 in like a money market account, right?
I don't have $500,000 in a money market account.
Okay, but you would agree with me that you make approximately $200,000 a year?
It's with businesses I have with my mom, so it's proportional to us. With our companies, yeah.
and that's for sanctions.
I wanna give you
purposes,
one more
that
opportunity.
money.
The media is here. You know that this case has gone viral. You have an opportunity right now to come clean and start fresh. So I'm going to ask you one final time. You were never pregnant by Clayton Echard, correct?
That is absolutely incorrect.
Time, Judge.
Time check, 28 minutes, 46 seconds. Redirect when you're ready.
Your Honor, I've got 3 questions. First of all, Laura, looking at Exhibit A0, are we on my screen?
Okay, I don't really care what he has to say. He just basically tries to correct some dates and everything. But yeah, she's still claiming that she was pregnant by Clayton. We're gonna go ahead and skip over the. Well, let me go ahead and have Bossy B change the topic. Okay, we're gonna skip over the doctors because they basically just testify to the fake medical records that they received. Laura's attorney or Laura's expert basically testifies that she was pregnant because she had positive HCG tests, no ultrasound, and then he tries to say, "Oh, it's funny that they rely only on a clinical pregnancy, which would require a sonogram to confirm the pregnancy, but." You know, you can deliver a baby and they never did prenatal care or whatever his argument was, right? Prenatal care, no sonogram, blah, blah, blah. But then Clayton's expert comes on and says, well, you know, you can have raised HCG levels for basically things that Laura claimed she did, like taking psychiatry meds, apparently, and also having cancer and also having cysts and things like that. So I don't know if either one of the doctors' testimony really helped here. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. I don't think either one of the doctors' testimony really helped. We're not going to watch it on this live stream because in the interest of time, we do want to cover Clayton. And then we will get back into the chat and see what everyone has to say. I did see that a bunch of people dropped 2s in the chat. I don't think I saw anyone's dropped in the chat of whether we believe Laura or not. So I think a lot of people in this chat are team Clayton and team Laura's not telling the truth. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump right into Clayton's testimony, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the chat. Okay. Let's see. That one was the shorter segue, so let's jump back into it.
This is the timeline that we talked about before. Can you just go back over that real quick? And
sorry, y'all, I forgot to actually forward it to where Clayton was. He was at 2:04. And he's only on the stand for like 10 or 15 minutes before he runs out of time. Oh, by the way, Laura's attorney ran out of time, I believe, on Clayton's expert, and so he didn't get to do any cross-examination, but also Clayton's attorney ran out on Clayton's testimony, so there was no closing argument or anything of that nature as well. So let's go ahead and do that, and now we can play it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
time check, Judge.
38 minutes, 57 seconds.
We're going to call Clayton quickly.
38 minutes.
Clayton, I'm going to be lightning fast. State your name to the court.
Clayton Echard.
Did you participate in signing the pretrial statement that we provided to Judge Manta?
Yes.
Are those statements true and accurate?
Yes.
Are we asking the court, in light of our very limited time today, to consider our pretrial statement as part of your testimony today?
Yes.
How did you meet Laura?
Laura targeted me on LinkedIn. She asked to do real estate. We ended up exchanging contact info. She became flirtatious, sent me a provocative photo. I told her to come over, and then we saw Owens the next day.
Did you have sex with Laura?
Absolutely not. I've said time and time again, she performed oral on me twice. That's it.
Have you heard 2 other versions about what happened?
Absolutely. Many versions. She's claimed that she was raped by me. She also claims I was too high to remember what happened that day.
I'm going to repeat what you just said. She claimed she was raped by you and that you were too high to remember.
That's correct.
Were you too high to remember?
Well, that's incorrect. I remember every single thing from that night.
Did you rape her?
I did not.
You stated that she gave you oral.
Now, I'm going to stop right there because I know these are serious allegations that he's questioning him about, but the way he's screaming at him, did you have sex with her? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Why is he yelling? Okay. I don't know. I think that Clayton used some pretty strong language to say she targeted me on LinkedIn, but I don't think I would have ever thought of like reaching out to a realtor and be like, hey, can you sell me a house? By the way, here's a sexy photo of me. Oh, you want me to come to your house? When are we going to get to the home selling process? I didn't know you had to, give a little striptease in order to buy a house, but either way it goes, it seemed to have worked out for him and her. Definitely not very professional, but I digress. Let me jump back into it.
sex twice that evening. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Where did you complete?
Her mouth both times.
What happened the second time?
She ran straight to the bathroom.
Were your fluids ever down there, as Laura has claimed?
No.
What happened the next days?
The next day, we went and saw houses. I told her that I crossed a professional boundary. I told her that that was a one-time thing, it would not happen again. She became very agitated at that point, was crying, and asked for me to give her a chance.
But hang on for a second. She came over to your house. She gave you oral sex twice. The next day, you told her you weren't interested in her.
That's correct. I rejected her, yes.
And then 4 days later, what happened?
4 days later, she started making claims that she could possibly be pregnant.
She got pregnant at 4 days. We talked about this on the last live stream. I was like, oh, well, the fertile window hasn't even closed it closed, but it hadn't even completed the cycle, which again, she's claiming she doesn't even have periods. So maybe her cycle is short. I don't know what she's alleging here. She's saying she don't have periods at all, but apparently can be pregnant within 4 days. That is insane. Immaculate conception, I guess. Tonsil twins to the win.
Hang on. Did your penis ever go inside her accidentally, inadvertently, or anything
No.
like that?
No.
You're a public figure. You're the Bachelor. That's why everyone's watching today. Are you embarrassed to say who you've had sex with, Clayton?
I think I'm the last person to lie about who I've been intimate with.
Did you have penile vaginal sex whatsoever?
No, absolutely not.
Has that been your story since day one?
My story's been consistent since day one.
I'm going to show you exhibit number 3. Put that up on the screen. Thanks, Isabel. Did Laura start communicating with you more after she said she thought she was pregnant at 4 days?
Yes, nonstop. She sent me over 500
Not
emails,
4
text
days.
messages, 13 different phone numbers.
13 phone numbers? How many messages?
Over 500.
Exhibit 3, is that a sample of those texts and emails that were shown to Judge Gail Ketzis in the injunction against harassment hearing from November 2nd, 2023?
Yes.
I move to admit exhibit 3, and Judge, you already took notice because you watched the videos.
I assume no objection.
No objection.
B3 is received.
At some point, did she start calling your mom, who's in the courtroom?
She started reaching out to my parents. She started reaching out to my work organizations. She started reaching out to people, women that I talked to in the past. She went for everybody.
Was she claiming anything in particular?
She was claiming that I was a deadbeat that's not supporting her through her pregnancy.
Well, hang on. It was more.
You're a deadbeat and she's 4 days pregnant is wild. Oh my gosh, this just keeps getting worse. I mean, mind y'all, I watched this yesterday, but it's still funny.
More than that, Clayton. It was a deadbeat who was not supporting her through her pregnancy of what?
With twins.
Twins.
Yes.
Did she reach out to the Sun magazine?
She did, yes.
Did she ever tell you what genders the imagined twins were?
A boy and a girl.
Did she ever tell you, drawing your attention to some motions Laura filed, and for purposes of attorney's fees, she filed a motion to communicate on August 8th, a motion to compel communication on August 23rd, and August 29th, a few days later, an expedited motion to communicate, and then shortly thereafter, she filed an order of protection against her, correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that she's filed orders of protection against 2 other individuals seated in the back of the courtroom, correct?
That's correct, yes.
They are on the left.
Yes. Well, my right, but yes. Or left.
Thank you. Greg Gillespie and
Michael Mancini.
I want to look at exhibit number 7, Clayton. Is that a true and accurate copy of email communication between you and Laura from July 1st, 2023?
Absolutely, yes.
You received it
Yes.
and she sent it?
She sent it,
You
yes.
heard her testify with Ms. Arena from my office, or excuse me, with Mr. Gingras, denying that emails exchanged were from her. She seems to be blaming, I guess, Greg Gillespie for faking her emails. Do you remember her testimony?
Yes, she said that. I think she says it's true.
She's actually sent you emails with videos attached to them, and you've responded back to them,
That's
correct?
correct, yes.
All right. Specifically, exhibit number 7. I think you stated that it was a true and accurate copy. I think the caption, I'm going to try to read it on the caption, the top. I think it says, "The final opportunity to consider abortion." You remember getting this from Laura?
Yes.
Move to admit exhibit 7.
Objection.
Yeah, no objection, Your Honor.
7's received.
Further down in that email, Clayton, and this will get awkward, but further down in that email from July 1st, which was weeks after the alleged encounter, Laura references her tight vagina. Why is that both uncomfortable and relevant to court?
Not
Because she's
uncomfortable.
stating that if I would have felt how tight her vagina was, I might change my mind, which is her stating that I never penetrated her. We never had penetrative sex.
Wait, the exhibit that the court just received has Laura saying that her vagina was tight as if you hadn't been in there before?
That is correct.
Well, had you been in there before?
I had not, no.
All right. She also sent you communications in exhibit number 7 talking about wanting to have sex with you during a trial week. What was that about?
She said that she would be the safest person to have sex with since she was already pregnant.
Hang on for a second. She told you she wanted to have sex with you because she was already pregnant?
That's correct.
How did you feel when you read that email, Clayton?
I've been sick. My stomach, all of this has made me sick.
Did you feel like she was trying to trap you?
Absolutely.
You heard the testimony with Dr. Medshow concerned that Laura was on IVF medication trying to get pregnant. Is that consistent with those concerns?
Yeah, I believe that she was taking medications.
I'm going to show you exhibit number 6. Now, let me restate that question. You heard my question to Dr. Medshow about IVF medications, which are used to cause pregnancy, and you share concerns that she was using those to trap you. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Exhibit number 6, Isabel. Exhibit number 6 is another email dated June 28th, 2023. Is that a true and accurate copy of the correspondence between you and Laura?
This is-
You remember reading this?
I remember reading this.
You remember reading it on June 28th-ish when you received it?
I do, yes.
And the title of this, can you read the title of this out loud for the court?
Having the baby if I don't hear back tonight.
Having the baby if I don't hear back tonight. Move to admit Exhibit 6.
Any objection?
No objection.
This is received.
Thank you. I'm going to show you Exhibit 11. Did Laura send you ultrasounds during this time period?
Yes, she did.
Is Exhibit 11 an image of an ultrasound you received from Laura?
Yes.
She's going to claim that she didn't send this to you, but how do you know this came from Laura?
Because I was interacting with her from that same email address. I also took a screen record showing that it was from her email address, and that's where all my other communications have come from her.
On Exhibit number 11, this one says, the caption on it says, ultrasound video proof, correct?
That's correct.
And the signature block on there in the picture is the exact same signature block and picture from the other email, which is also not favorable to Laura, which she claims is not hers, correct?
So that's
Move
right.
to admit Exhibit 11.
Any objection?
No objection.
On Exhibit 11, well, do you know where the video came from on Exhibit number 11?
Yeah, from a YouTube video from 7 years ago.
YouTube video from 7 years ago? On that, this is the one that says smile, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one says GE.
No, this one's a different one. Yes.
Okay, because how many are there? How many ultrasounds have you seen?
3.
Okay. This one, I think, on the caption says, and here's my 100 million% real ultrasound.
Yeah, a lot of zeros. Yeah.
You remember? I don't know if my math is right on that. Do you remember receiving that?
Yes, I received it before. Yes.
Court already admitted it. I'm going to show you Exhibit number 28.
The fact that she has to say, here is my 100% real ultrasound. I feel like you have to really take a look at yourself and realize that people think that you're a liar. So you should probably, correct your behavior so that people don't think that you're lying all the time. I don't know what she thought she was doing.
You recall receiving this ultrasound?
Yes, I saw this from Bounty Platter.
Okay, I'm going to be real clear about this. Miss Owens just testified that she did not use this ultrasound in a court proceeding, but it was actually admitted as an exhibit by Laura through her counsel at the February 2nd, 2024 deposition of you, correct?
Correct.
All right, that video deposition of you, have you seen that recently?
Yes, I have.
Where did you see the video deposition of yourself, Clayton?
It was posted on YouTube by either her counsel or herself.
Wait, Laura or her counsel posted your video deposition on YouTube?
That's correct.
How many paternity tests did you take, Clayton?
3.
I'm going to show you exhibit number 36. You know what? I'm going to skip past that. That was the Dr. Medchill's. I'll skip past that. Well, you know what? Real quickly, how many versions of the HCG test have you seen?
2, I believe. Yeah, the 102 and 100.
One with more digits on it?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you exhibit number 46. Would you agree that exhibit number 46 for attorney's fees is a blog from Mr. Gingras where he acknowledges his client faked some of the science tests?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to show you, to move this along, exhibit number 55. Exhibit number 55 was right before your March 1st deposition, or right before, excuse me, Laura's March 1st deposition. Actually, did she show up at her earlier deposition?
No, she didn't.
And the court ordered her compelled to attend, and we're still waiting for the court to order on attorney's fees for that. Is that correct?
Correct.
But at her, right before, what happened a day or two related to exhibit 55, a day or two before your deposition?
She threatened to extort me to the tune of $1.4 million in order for me to drop the deposition and the case entirely.
Wait a minute. She sent you a letter a day before trying to get out of the deposition?
Yes, she threatened me.
Threatened you with what?
Monetary means.
Is everything that we've talked about today so far, other than the YouTube videos, which are more recent, is everything addressed in prior pleadings already before Judge Mata?
Yes.
Really quickly, for attorney's fees purposes, exhibit number, well, let me get in a few exhibits real quick. Exhibit 29, 37, and 59. These are the medical records from pursuant to subpoena from doctors for Planned Parenthood, Dr. McCool, and Dr. Higley. We moved to admit they've all been considered.
I'm sorry, you said 37.
Correct that, sorry. 29, 37, and 59.
Any objection?
Not to those. Did we talk about exhibit 54 yet?
Hold on 1 second. 29, 37, and what was the other one? Mr.
59.
59 are received. We'll talk about that one after counsel.
And then I'll go back. It was exhibit number 55, which is the letter that Laura sent you, suing you to sue you for $1.4 million before the deposition. Move to admit.
Now that one I'll object to. That's a Rule 408 settlement offer, Your Honor. He's offering to prove that the claim's not valid. That's absolutely inappropriate.
Judge, just,
Over objection, the court's going to receive it for the purposes of attorney's fees only. Counsel, you have run out of time.
I'm out of time.
You're out of here.
You are out of time, buddy.
So you can go sit back down.
Okay, so the court's going to take it under submission. The judge is going to give us an answer and hopefully the next week. But Mr. Gringas is going to be out of town on a cruise for several weeks until June 29th, which is probably a good idea for him to get out of town, in my opinion. So I have posted a poll in the chat. It says, who should win this case? Clayton, Laura was never pregnant. The option, is Clayton, Laura was never pregnant, or Laura. Laura lost Clayton's twins. And then the last option is none. Both did not prove the case. And we already got some votes coming in. So if you haven't voted, make sure you go ahead and vote. We're going to read some chats and then we're going to see what the final verdict of public opinion on the BriHive is for this particular case. Like I saw a lot of twos saying they didn't believe Laura, but it seems like we got a couple of lurkers in the chat, unless people are just being funny here and voting on behalf of Laura. So let's go ahead and check out what the chat has to say again. All right, y'all. And so, like I said, Kimmy is going to be starring the chats that are most relevant to what we are talking about. So if I miss your chat, it's just because we got a lot of other chats coming in. So let's see what the BriHive has to say. We got Avid Reader Red saying, apparently in Arizona, proof of a viable pregnancy or actual children aren't needed to file for a parenting plan in family court. You don't need the actual children. That's funny. Do you think there should be some burden of proof to file before birth? I would say no. Because you can always prove paternity once the child is born. If it's not born, then you know, well, I guess actually, I would probably say if I could change something, maybe, because if there is no baby and someone files this action and then you file and you pay attorney's fees to file your response, because you still have to respond in 30 days or whatever the response, what is it called? I can't even think of it is. I can't even think of what it's called, but the response period, ours is 30 days in California, and you have to pay the fee. Then, I mean, I guess you can always just ask for attorney fees. So I guess there's no irreparable harm. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm thinking this through. But no, that makes sense. I laughed at first, but no, you actually don't have to prove that you're actually pregnant in order to file the case. And the father does not have to prove that you're actually pregnant. And like I said, most of the time when these cases are filed that I've seen, it's when the mother is pregnant and they're not allowing the father to participate. So the father is the one filing this lawsuit asking to participate in pregnancy. And you know what? The courts really, at least in California, they don't force the moms to have the dads participate in pregnancy. So I don't see how the Arizona courts could have forced Clayton to participate in her pregnancy either. So that was an interesting move by her. Let's see here. We got Amy Bonner saying, if there's any Laura supporters, then it's probably Laura with a different name. She's been trolling Lauren's channel. That makes sense. Julianne Morel says, Laura Owens reported him to the real estate board, but did anything happen from it? Zoe B says the fact that Clayton immediately broke off the real estate transaction with her due to crossing ethical boundaries the very next day and attempted to have another realtor take over shows his credibility. I agree with that. Like, he's not going to take advantage of her and, pump and dump her while also selling her house. Dragon says, I wonder if she submitted fraud financial docs to the seller who is holding the seller carry mortgage for the Airbnb. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of things are fraud. I wouldn't be surprised if her name was not Laura Owens. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. Have it Reader Red says, a conversation with the nurse at Banner about the potential due date is hearsay, right? Exactly. That is hearsay. And that's why Deandra was stating that it's not on the actual medical records. I don't know if every hospital normally puts it on the medical records, but her trying to go around it and say, oh, well, it's not, they told me it or whatever it is. Is it on the medical records? No. Okay. Angel Raburn says, not good to be bitchy on the stand, ma'am. And I use that term lightly, right? I forgot to use my cussing beeping. Okay. It caught me off guard. Star says, I love the way the judge reminds that she will be considering all evidence submitted as well as the trial. Yes, exactly. She should. It's longer than 2 hours, right? Bruce from Oregon says she is incapable of answering just yes or no with Clayton's team. Nope, because it's going to make her look bad, which is fine. It is the opposing counsel asking you questions. Your attorney is supposed to come and save you later. Let your attorney do their job. Zoe B says, I hope she's not deducting all her legal fees as business expenses. Is this a business? This might be a business. Alyssa S says her expert cannot fathom that someone would fake a medical record. He stated he didn't even consider the fake medical records, which I don't know if I really believe that. Ashley says, I wish we could have heard the victims. Yeah, exactly. But honestly, I don't know. Or I guess she said that she had been pregnant before, so that will bring up the relevancy. I don't know. I'm still not all the way on board with them testifying, to tell you the truth, because they're going to talk about their own experiences with her. And that could be considered character evidence. But she did testify that she was pregnant, or that they didn't believe, or she testified that at least Greg believed that she was pregnant at some point. But just because he sent you to a hospital does not mean that he believed you were pregnant. He actually believed that you wasn't pregnant, so he sent you to a certain hospital. So don't agree with that. And I think that did open the door for Greg to be, what do you call it? For him to be called to the stand. So let's see. Bruce from Oregon says, wouldn't it get Clayton's medical expert destroyed? MedChill, I agree. And she worked at Planned Parenthood at one point and said, you can't go anonymously, lady. That is not a thing. And if you did, you're committing medical fraud. Like, what are you doing? Okay, y'all, we have 117 votes and we have 259 people watching live. So if you haven't voted, make sure you do vote so that your vote is heard in the court of public opinion on the BriHive. And also, we just doubled our like goal. We really just doubled our like goal. We're at 309 likes, y'all. So I am going to play our like goal number 2 because we literally just doubled our like goal. The like goal was 150. We have surpassed 300, which is more than double of the like goal. So if you did not hear the warning earlier, our like goal animation has a loud boom in it. It's not at the beginning on this one, but it still does have a loud boom. So if you want to turn down your volume, please do so. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, y'all. Almost like golden again. Shout out to the BriHive for hitting the like goal 2 times. 2 times. Doubled it on me. I'm shocked. I thought that 150 was a stretch and y'all just blew me out the water. Shout out to y'all. Stir Crazy says, Bri, I wish they would have asked how she got pregnant when in her depot she stated she swallowed both times. Girl, what? I was not expecting to read that. This is wild. Did you have sex with that woman? This is wild. Oh my gosh. This is so wild. She said in her deposition that she swallowed both times. And that was in March. Did she forget that testimony? Why didn't no one bring that up? I wish they would have brought that up. That would have had my jaw on the ground. Okay. Vince says Laura McLyerson is a liar. Lion Laura. Vince says Clayton has a hot booty. And apparently, Laura, is tight. And also she's already pregnant. So she's the perfect candidate for unprotected sex, apparently. Yep. Interesting first meetups. Grecia Bates says, yeah, but she has money for care. Clayton's doctor was Planned Parenthood director. She said Planned Parenthood doesn't do anonymous care. Agreed. And even if she did anonymous care, she also said that she went under a different name. So which one is it? Is it medical fraud or did you go anonymously? Which one? Okay. Either way, they don't do it. Scarlett Sullivan says Zaddy Greg is so theatrical. Love it. Yeah, I love how he looked at the judge. Wait a minute, did you say? Love that. I did. Ashley says he's angry for his client. Yeah. Did you have sex with that woman? Mispronounced name says some people's voices go up in volume when they increase speed. It's just a thing for some. Now, I think he was trying to do emphasis. That's my opinion. Angel says, is there a blue dress? For which one? I don't know exactly what you're referring to there. Julia543 says, Bri, perfect reference, but you are way too young to remember that. I'm not too young to remember that. Okay. Upside Down says, did he ask if his fluids were ever down there? Were they ever found there? Because she said that they found some of his semen near her vagina. Don't know how they found that because they're not scientists. You can't just, never mind. We're getting too deep into sex education class, and this is not what this stream is about, okay? It's not. Let's see. Teresa S says $500K doesn't go far when lawyers are involved, and then you have to pay yours and their attorney's fees. Oh, well, that or claim bankruptcy. You can still get a judgment for you. Just because she doesn't have the money in pocket doesn't mean that she can't pay for it. She can have payment plans. They can set up pretty much payment plans. Okay. She doesn't have to pay it all at once. There will be a judgment against her, and it could potentially affect her credit if she doesn't pay up in time. So it would be in her best interest if the court orders attorney's fees for her to set up a payment plan so that she doesn't get hit on her, if she does, so that she doesn't get hit on her credit for that. Zoe B says, I think the female's medical expert helped Clayton case by testifying Planned Parenthood requires IDs for appointment and gave reasonable theories for elevated HCG and how Lauren doctor HCG tests are not consistent with pregnancy. Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think that his expert did help. I said I don't think the experts really helped, but you're right. That did help. I'm sorry, I messed up earlier. But yeah, she did help. She was definitely more helpful than the other expert. But I also think that they could have gotten away. I mean, I guess they would be the experts on like whether the HCG and all that stuff. I guess lay people would not be able to testify to it. Although Laura's attorney kind of testified to what he researched. Like, I don't care what you looked up, mister. Okay. Ask the expert the question. Don't tell me what you looked up. Okay. So let's see here. We got Ali F saying Clayton was 100% credible. I agree. I think he did really good on the stand. Ali F says Gringus couldn't even manage his time well enough to question Clayton. He just had to sit there and let it happen. And Laura is probably going to sue him for malpractice. Bruce from Oregon says, shout out to Isabel, one of Clayton's lawyers, for all the research and drafting filings. And wasn't she the one pulling up all the exhibits for everyone? Humbly Right says the only reason we know about this is she threatened Clayton to go to the media. She did, and it backfired. Yep. That's her problem. Sir Crazy says, okay, so she had to have done research because this is Google. In many cases, you might get a positive result from an at-home test as early as 10 days after conception. But 10 days. She did 4 days. Okay. She did 4 days. Bronco Fett says Gringus is the CM Punk of litigation. We got Jane Jones says, this is so crunchy, but yep, she blew her own case in so many ways. Operative word, blow. Yeah, she stay blowing, right? Equality says, I love Mr. Woodnick's style, super direct and concise. I agree. And he has a little bit of the theatrics, but it's like the perfect amount, just a little salt on there, right? Zoe B says, I'm still trying to find the fancy over the counter pregnancy test that detects numbers of fetuses and genders of each day after immaculate conception. After swallowing, it went through her stomach pores. Bree, what are you talking about? Not going through your stomach pores and reaching the uterus. This was gonna go too far. It's gonna go too far. She is like the literal definition of she felt it in her stomach. Okay, I'm done. Sabine Simone says Daddy Greg is so good at asking questions with emotion and pause. Yeah, he had the perfect tempo, in my opinion. Humbly Right says, did you cover or see Gringa's post-hearing blog posted less than 2 hours after the hearing? He almost as bad as her. Horrible. Like, that is horrible attorney behavior. I didn't look at the whole thing, but I did briefly watch Lauren 90. I think that's how y'all say it. You say it. I did briefly watch her coverage of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I wasn't able to finish the whole thing. I had to go to bed. Ashley says mine 100% real, but 100% stolen, but 100% I made this up, right? Nicholas Hall says, would like your opinion on internet lawyer objecting soon, stating the extortionate email was some kind of settlement offer. So are y'all calling Gringus the internet lawyer, or is that someone completely different? But the extortion email was a settlement offer. Yeah, so she can say, I'm going to settle this case. I'll offer you this so that we can settle the case. But you can't go, you need to settle the case or I'm going to sue you for $1 million. That is not a settlement offer. I understand he probably put at the top of the letter, this is confidential pursuant to this code section. But just because you put that at the top of the letter does not make it a settlement offer. The court still accepted it as to attorney's fees, and as far as like threatening him to settle the case, that can go for attorney's fees because it's sanctionable conduct to threaten people with millions of dollars of lawsuits in order to get your way. That is sanctionable. Ashley says, Laura, stop voting. You lied. Equality says, I love Greg's wait a minute and hang on. Yeah, he was animated for sure. Jane Jones says, Laura would be blowing up Gringus' phone if he didn't leave town immediately. Oh yeah, I might not have signal. That is probably for the best, okay? Because apparently my girl got 13 different phone numbers. Oh, let's stop. Julia543 says, we have doubled the like goal. Shout out to us for sure. Kimmy Locker says, I thought you were about to say, so if I miss your chat, blame Kimmy. No, no, I wouldn't say that. Brooke Ward says, just logging in and trying to catch up, but having FOMO, so now real time, just saw tears from laughing. Well, welcome to the live reaction of the live stream. Bronco Fed says, what dummy voted Laura? Don't be mean. Everyone has a difference of opinion, okay? Everyone has a difference of opinion. Manello 211 says, hi, Laura. And you know what's funny about this case? Because I cover the TikTok case going on with Lauren the Mortician and Jeanette Braun, and people always say, oh, she might be in the live stream. I don't think she's ever entered into my live stream, but I think that there's a lot more people covering this case. But there's so little, there's not that many people covering this case, so I would not be surprised if she was in this live stream. I like to think that since I have a small channel, she wouldn't come, but also there's not that many people covering this case, so it would be very easy to come to this live stream. So hopefully not. Manella says, hi, Laura. Laura voted Laura. It's let's see, it's only 1%. So I think maybe 2 or 3 people might have voted for her. Becca has thoughts. Laura is usually watching the coverage. I would not be surprised. Stir Crazy says she voted with all her accounts. Okay. I was like, it had to be like 2 or 3 people. Is anyone willing to step up and say that they're the one that voted for Laura? Okay. Small said, moderator of the channel says, full disclosure, I'm the 1% who voted. She lost the twins. I'm bored and need a good distraction. Okay. I just said, is anyone willing to step up? Okay. Smalls did it for the team. Okay. Destined to be, also known as Tanya D, says, come on, BriHive with the 300 likes. Yes, we did. Let me clap it up again. Let's clap it up again. Shout out to us. Kimmy Locker says, yay, BriHive. If you want to support the stream and become a member, there's perks like joining on camera during member streams. And sometimes we do stuff like bingo. Join here. And she went ahead and dropped the link for you if you do want to join the channel. Like, we have cool little emojis that I designed myself and cool little badges next to your name when you come on the channel. And also, like Kimmy said, we have a members live stream once per month where you get to join the live stream and chat the nonsense with us. We might have to do one like next week so that we can make sure to cover this case on it. So if you're not a member and you want to become a member, we do have 2 tiers. We have the BriHive tier, which is $4.99, and then we have the baby larva, the BriHive larva tier, which is what, $1.99, I think. And if you can't tell, we have like a bumblebee theme here. If you couldn't tell about the BriHive, okay? Widget 81 says Mata has 60 days to rule, but I think she does it the day after Gringus gets back. Plus, she has the judicial conference next week. Okay, yeah, so she'll probably take some time to give it to us. I was hoping by the end of the week, but she'll probably take some time. Bruce from Oregon says clinical proof of pregnancy could be required for if we were filing paternity actions, maybe. IB0093 says, I wanted Greg Gillespie, I don't remember his last name. Let me not try to do that. Greg and Mike to be able to testify. They ran out of time. There's no way they were going to be able to get them to testify within 2 hours and get the main people, the defendant and the respondent, to clear their stories as well. Plus 2 doctors, and Laura's mama didn't even get to come up. What was she gonna say? I don't know. Okay. Bruce from Oregon says Clayton, Greg, and Mike have each told us they so appreciate all the community support. Yes, I hope they do. It's good coverage, and you guys are real supporters of the case. And for me, I just found this case. I cover legal topics on YouTube, and it is a very interesting case, and they have a really big supportive community. Jay says, question, if there is no real supporting evidence that a woman is pregnant but filed a case for paternity, then when last minute withdraw the case, is that something that should be allowed? So once you file the case and you serve the other person, you cannot withdraw it without the other person's permission. That's why Laura filed the motion to have the case dismissed with prejudice, so she can't bring it back, right? But once she served him, she could no longer withdraw the case without his consent. He didn't consent, the court didn't consent. She could not withdraw the case. So as long as they're served, she won't be able to do that. And so since she's not able to withdraw it on her own, what Clayton can then do is ask for attorney's fees for filing a false paternity action. These are a lot harder. Like, I had a case where someone faked that someone was the parent of, a woman faked that a man was a parent of the child for years. And then all of a sudden, when we were asking for proof of certain things, all of a sudden she was like, he's not the father. This is the father. And it really, like, he really wasn't the father. And this case went on for multiple years. She was collecting child support. She was collecting, she was messing with his custody time, all of these things. And he just agreed that he was the father because he was hooking up with her at the time. They decided not to do a paternity test, and she basically duped the system. And he never got any money back out of it because they spend so much money trying to fight these cases, and they're holding the baby, and there's restraining orders being filed, and there's this and there's that. And then you spend all this money, you run out of money to hire an attorney to basically sue her for the money back. So that is the remedy, is to ask for attorney's fees, especially if they intentionally committed fraud in filing it. But sometimes it's just that you don't know who the dad is because you slept with too many people. So should that person be punished for, slutting it up? I don't know. But if it's a situation where a person actually knows that they're committing fraud, then I think attorney's fees is appropriate and should pretty much be automatically analyzed upon the court finding out that it was fraud. Chris Jenner says, did you skip Dr. Medchill and Dr. Dean's testimony? Yes, I did, for the interest of time. I cannot be on here all night because I have my own trial to prepare for. Tina Wright says the gestational length would be on any ultrasound. Exactly, but she had her own doctored one, right? Jermaine Down says she wants to control the narrative so bad she has no qualms about interrupting the judge. Yeah, she just interrupted the judge, interrupted the attorney. She probably would have interrupted the bailiff if she could. She cried, she stormed out, all kinds of stuff. Rachel Mills says, did you see the judge in the Young Thug trial? No, I have not been keeping up with the Young Thug trial. I have not been keeping up with that, Rachel Mills. Widget 81 says, Mata has great things to talk about at the judicial conference next week. At least she can take a break from this case. Amy Bonner says, the jokes write themselves with the case, Brie. It's bad. It's really bad. Too many innuendos as well. Mispronounced Name says, the stomach and the uterus are connected by the imagination organ. Duh. I loved how Woodnick said, the imagined twins or something. He said something about the imagined kids or something, or magic pregnancy, or whatever it was. I was like, oh, that is perfect. They are using strong language in the questions. I love that. Sir Crazy says he's angry for his client and for himself. Laura accused him too of really horrible things. Yes, in the Greg case, right? Humbly Right says Clinton equals blue dress. Oh, okay. I missed that. Maybe I am too young. Maybe I am too young. I only know that I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Hey Bell says Padlet timeline team is working on timelines from Mike and Greg. Justice for all victims. Hopefully they can have their day. Well, I thought Greg already had his day in the court revolving around the pregnancy scandal. Hey Bell says Laura said she felt his fluids down there. I thought they said that she found it down there. She found it with her hand because she probably took it out her. Never mind. Let me not say that before I get hit with a lawsuit. I think you guys know where I was going with that, but I'll keep it to myself, okay? Hay says, this timeline has made me remember some really disturbing things. Ashley says her expert was hired on Craigslist in my... and that's not nice, okay? I didn't even have a comeback for that. Not a Craigslist doctor. Jason Mitchell went against all he learned in school to become a doctor and goes against the science. And he's no longer, he stopped working in like 2022. Why is that? Did he retire? Questions that need answers. Julia543 says, I was curious about the case and figured I'd like your coverage most, but I didn't know I was going to be sexed with Bria. Sorry. I am the immature person on the internet. I'm the immature lawyer on the internet. Not good. It's not good. IB0093 says fluids was probably just her monster drink. I hope not. That in that area. Stir Crazy says Gringas equals internet lawyer. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, isn't another lawyer out here acting crazy? Cindy Brown says Gringas calls himself an internet lawyer because he used to rep a website that was scuzzy, and he also posts blogs about his clients' cases. Like, does he have permission to post these? Like, you're not supposed to do that. AZ Techie says the extortion letter was sent by her, not one of her lawyers. Oh, her lawyer didn't even help her draft it? So it probably didn't have the code section at the top. And he was so strong in his objection. Sir, sit down. Destined to Be says, well, if she's here, hey, Laura, and welcome to the BriHive. And absolutely, we welcome all. Don't report us. Bruce from Oregon says, I'd love to hear from someone who thinks Laura was pregnant with Clayton's twins and why. Would love to as well. Cindy Brown says, well, if Laura is here, I just outed myself. She says she's going after JFC crew. I'm not. And I donated to Mike's laptop forensic check. Why are you telling on yourself? Jay says, why Bumblebee theme? I like it. Just curious. It came about during the Johnny Depp trial. We were trying to come up with a chat name that came up with the BriHive, and it's just stuck ever since then. I don't remember why that stuck, but it was during the Johnny Depp trial. Ashley says, absolutely proof of pregnancy, then proof of paternity. Yeah, that makes sense. But the thing about these cases is you just open the case. If you don't do anything with it, well, at least in California, if you don't do anything with it, it just sits there. So you have to then file a request for order in order for the court to then move it. Most people don't file those until after the baby is born. Most people, I would say that. So I think it makes sense. What a lot of people don't realize, just like the story I just told, a lot of men do not do the paternity test. They don't care. They just go, yes, I'm the father. I was sleeping with her. She was my girlfriend, whatever it may be. They'll go ahead and say, no, I'm the father. They won't do the paternity test. So it's really no need for the paternity test if the men are just voluntarily saying that they're the father. Maybe it will change over the next couple of years, but right now there's a lot of men that just say, yep, that's my kid. And so there's really no need for the proof of the paternity. Ashley says she found a loophole in the legal system in their state, and she hurt the men using that loophole even to fake cancer scare. Yeah, Ashley said 4, and then Ashley says paternity is so easy nowadays. It's not an issue that should be issued from the start before any legal, let me see. It's not an issue that should be issued from the start before any legal issues happen. And like I said, most people, the baby is already here. Most people in paternity actions, even with divorce with kids, the child is already here. It's very rare that at least I see the pregnancy paternity actions because the court can't do anything while they're pregnant. Cindy Brown says the cancer scare was in California. Jay says, have you heard about the woman who got pregnant from a sperm clinic, was in a same-sex marriage, her partner left, and now she is suing the sperm donor for child support? No, I haven't heard of that. She should not be able to do that. Amy Bonner says, I know how to spell right, but I don't know how to edit my comments after I use voice to text apparently, and then it did it to you again. Bruce says, I like how Clayton came out. She targeted me on LinkedIn. Yeah, they used very good, strong language without being obnoxious, right? Because Laura was obnoxious and she wasn't answering questions, so she did not do a good job. AZ Techie says, not Craigslist. Her expert was from Fiverr. Y'all gotta stop, okay? I thought I was a problem, but I don't think it's just me. The Dehydrated Slime says, Bree, I haven't watched the Young Thug or the YSL trial, also known as the Young Thug trial, either, but I have seen clips from yesterday. It's wild. You should look it up when you have the time. My concern is that I don't necessarily have to cover it, but my concern is I wouldn't be caught up enough. This has been going on for like how long has the Young Thug trial been going on? Like 6 months at this point, right? Because they reconvened in January and they started in like December, right? And then they took that break for something happened. One of the defendants got stabbed, and so they took a break. Yeah, it's been going on at least since January. So I don't know. Now, I'll try to look it up. Well, I'll take a peek at it. Cynthia says, Bree, on Young Thugs, the defense attorney has been jailed by what? No way. Okay, I do have to look into that. Teresa S says, did we find out if Matta's dad is/was an attorney or a judge? I have no idea. M169 says, to be frank, I'm going with to be frank, but tell me if I'm using the wrong acronym. Medchin did retire, but one wonders why he participated in this. Probably the only person they could afford. I shouldn't have said that. That's not nice. Zoe B says, and that doctor claimed delivered 20,000 babies in his medical career, but that math doesn't add up. Well, he said he's been a doctor since like 1970, so I don't think that's too far-fetched. I don't think it's too far-fetched. Jay says, that's what I thought from I stepped on a beam moment. Tiny D says, Bree, I don't follow YSL, but I watched the debacle from yesterday. Check out Natalie Lawyer Chick coverage from yesterday. Okay, that is a good place to find it. I'll look at her channel. M169 says they really need to do the paternity test. Some men just don't. Even when we advise them to, they just don't do the paternity test. Julia543 says, Bree, you don't know. Bree, do you know Monica Lewinsky is blue dress reference? No, I don't know the reference to the blue dress. Bree, you don't have to be caught up at all. Runkle covered it basically cold. Okay, makes sense. I will check out Young Thug. The Dehydrated Slime says, no need to be caught up in any way. It's just ridiculous on the face. Anyone can judge it just like this case, right? Ashley says, I love this stream. Thank you for covering. No problem. Thank you for joining. Amy Bonner says, Peter the lawyer, posted a video about the Young Thug lawyer today, but I haven't watched it yet. Okay, he usually does shorter ones, so I might check him out too. Julia543 says, Bree, the judge is mad. Young Thug's lawyer found out about an ex parte meeting with a witness. Wait, so the judge had an ex parte meeting with a witness? That's not good. So they put him in jail? That's not good. The judge is not supposed to do that. So I don't know how I feel about that one. Let me go ahead and check out the vote, and then I'll do a couple more chats, and then your girl gotta log off, okay? So the final verdict. 96% says Clayton won the case. Then Laura was never pregnant. Then we got 1% saying Laura lost Clayton's twins, poor her. And then we got 3% saying none, both did not prove the case. So majority says Clayton wins. I'm going to lean towards Clayton wins. The judge has to make a decision in this, okay? Well, technically, she has to find non-paternity, right? That's the paternity action, non-paternity. So she does have to make a decision in the case. It can't just be, we don't know if he was ever the father kind of situation. She could decide that we don't know whether she was ever pregnant or not, but I think Clayton did a good job in showing she was never pregnant. Therefore, the paternity, and for the time that they had, let me correct myself. For the time that they had, I think Clayton did a good job at showing that she was never pregnant, so he could not be the father. So the court needs to find that non-paternity. She was never pregnant with Clayton's kids because she was never pregnant during this time. Okay, so I think that is it. Let me go ahead and close. And we had 180 people vote. Shout out to y'all voting, big votes. Okay, let me end that poll. I got a couple more chats to go, and then we are gonna go to bed. Well, I'm gonna try to find my freaking timestamps because I forgot to bookmark today, but we'll get it done. Chris Jenner says, every time I read your name, I'm like, am I reading the wrong thing? Chris Jenner says, Bree, did you know that Judge Mata's dad was in the overflow room with us? He said he was here for the circus. Haha, that's funny. That is funny. I'm sure he was proud of his daughter. Chris Jenner says, that makes me wonder how much Mata talked about this with her dad, right? He probably just saw it on the internet. Julia says, thanks for not knowing the blue dress. Smalls now owes me ice cream. If we ever met, we made a bet. Oh, jeez. Sorry, Smalls. Mispronounced name says 40 years as a doctor, 500 deliveries a year. Okay, that is, you can deliver more than one baby in a day, right? 20,000 babies delivered. Makes sense. You can deliver more than one baby in a day, I think, but you would have to do it multiple days a year, and you would have to deliver a baby every year. So yeah, that is a lot. Just under 3 babies every 2 days. Yeah. Mispronounced name says seems a little excessively high, but not impossible. I agree with you. That does seem kind of high, but also possible. But he would have to work like every day. Tiny D says the witness who was already sworn in for the ex parte communication with the judge, you can't do that. Julia says judge, prosecution, witness, attorney, and the judge demanded to know who told the defense attorney the meeting happened. Defense attorney refused. Judge said jail. Oh, that's not good. M169 says YSL, the defense attorney would. Upside down says, yeah, behind the defense's back. You can't do that. You can't do that, judge. Kimmy Locker says that attorney was such a bad egg throughout the entire situation. I know exactly who to call if I'm ever in trouble. Not because I get in trouble, of course, but if I'm framed or something, of course, if you're framed. Wink, wink. Garcia Bates says if she was pregnant, she can't prove it was his. Agreed. I agree with that. Garcia Bates says since there was no DNA test, that's why you wait till the kid pops out. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Jane Jones says he said 222,000 babies. Now that's even more. Zoe B says, thank you, Bree, Kimmy Locker, and all the mods for another awesome stream. A good laugh to recharge for the rest of the week. Yes, of course. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone that stayed all of this time to listen to me blabber on. Jay says, Bree, you are awesome. I hope your channel blows up. You will need a lot more help though with reading all these comments. Yes. And that's why Kimmy tries to star them for us, but I think we still get too deep into them. I used to read like every single comment when my channel was first starting off, but now I get too many comments to read. So now Kimmy helps me star them. And honestly, this has been a big influx on the channel in the last week or so. We usually have about 50 people watching live. So yeah, shout out to Kimmy for handling the chats for us. Teresa says the judges can do their own research on cases. Yes, they can. Mm-hmm. Bruce from Oregon says you can't wait with her. She'll send you 500 text messages now. Absolutely not, ma'am. You have to calm down with the text messages. Have to calm down with it. Okay, y'all. Thank you again. We are at 336 likes. We blew the like goal out of the water. We doubled it, like 2-point-something times it. Shout out to the BriHive for that. Welcome to all the new subscribers and all the new live viewers, even if you don't subscribe. But why not subscribe? If you watch this long, just hit the subscribe button. It helps us out in the algorithm. It helps us grow the channel. Hitting the like button also does that. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help out the channel. And again, this case is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know where this woman got the audacity. I cannot wait until the verdict comes out. I hope she does not wait until homeboy comes back from vacation, but I feel like she will, because if he wants to file an appeal or anything of that nature, then he would be able to, or releasing the verdict, or I guess, yeah, releasing the verdict would kind of put a little pin in his ability to file an appeal if he is out of town and he doesn't have access to his computer. And the court did acknowledge that he does not have control over whether he has Wi-Fi or internet access anyways as well. So I'm thinking that the judge is going to wait to come out with a verdict after homeboy, why am I calling him homeboy? After Green gets returned from his cruise, which is crazy. I would not take a case if I knew I was going on a cruise the night of the trial. I would not take that case, but you know, big ups to him for helping my girl, or not my girl, helping Laura out. Either way it goes, I don't think that we'll get a verdict until July. If we do, I'll be very surprised because again, if he's going to appeal, he has to be given that time, the full window to be able to appeal the verdict. But anyways, again, shout out to the BriHive. Thank you for watching live. I will not be streaming on Thursday. I will try to release a short video, but do not hold me to it because I have my own trial on Thursday and Friday. But anyways, I hope everyone has a good week and I will see y'all all on the next live stream.